Chapter 1053. What? There are still people coming? Just how powerful is Su Xianren's rallying power? Do they not want their lives at this critical juncture? But this person is very powerful. There's a shocking energy awakening in his body. This is the potential of innate divine strength. The crowd turned pale and didn't know what to say. What kind of situation was this? This was a deadlock against Su Yan. From the very beginning, the damaged universe had been Su Yan's killing ground. But no one had expected that three great experts would join forces to help Su Yan. They even seemed to be advancing and retreating with him. Now, the Northern Evil Dao had spoken a shocking statement. Su Yan was actually stealing the reincarnation fruit's energy. They were all anxiously waiting for the reincarnation fruit to ripen, but Su Yan had already begun to steal the fruit's energy. This caused the kings to feel unbearable. In the end, they were prepared to join forces to drive Su Yan and the others away. In any case, he was in the reincarnation universe and couldn't escape. But no one had expected that at this critical moment, when a great battle was about to break out, a giant man with overflowing divine strength strode over with large strides. He roared, "Who dares to harm my big brother?" At this moment, Luo de Li appeared to be a fiendish fiend. His tall body was draped in beast skin, and he was like a giant mountain. His body surged with vigorous essence blood and surged out, causing some cultivators to tremble. Without a doubt, Luo de Li's combat strength was extraordinary. He was born with divine strength and appeared like a barbaric giant god. His body surged with essence blood and emitted boundless strength that could pierce through the heavens and earth. What a fierce general! Yuan and the others were endlessly shocked. They didn't know much about Luo de Li, but just from Luo de Li's fierceness, they could see that this person's combat strength was extraordinary. His strength was boundless. He had just appeared on the scene, and the group was already trembling. Ha ha! Su Yan faced the sky and laughed heartily. Once, when they were retreating from the demon region, they encountered a great calamity along the way. Su Yan no longer had any news of Luo de Li, but now Luo de Li had appeared once again. Furthermore, he had appeared in such a domineering manner. Su Yan felt as if his face was glowing. His spiritual will erupted, emitting an aura that could swallow mountains and rivers. Roar! Bao Kai and the others roared furiously in succession. They were also in high spirits as they released their world-swallowing auras. This was a terrifying phenomenon, a type of brotherly affection, a peerless belief of joining forces against the enemy. It spread out in a vast and mighty manner, sweeping through all directions and intimidating all the kings in the world. Vaguely, it was as if the five great stars of the universe were rising in the sky. Their auras were about to merge and combine, forming a demonic phenomenon that could crush the universe. Their might was comparable to the pulse of time, suppressing the kings until they lost their brilliance. At this moment, only Su Yan and the other three young experts in the world suppressed all living beings and emanated an incomparably dignified aura. Boom! The heaven and earth lost their color. The sun and moon lost their luster. The boundless void trembled and was about to collapse. This combination is truly invincible. The five great experts are as close as brothers. If they can't be killed, then the future will be theirs. This scene was presented by the Bone Realm. Some of the great characters turned pale. This was an invincible combination. They disrespected the heaven and earth and were full of affection. Moreover, the five great experts' auras were fused together. This was a terrifying phenomenon that caused Su Yan's enemies to have ugly expressions. Once these five young experts killed their way out of the encirclement, their futures would be extraordinary. Everyone could see the shocking potential of these five experts. Which one of them wasn't a dragon or phoenix among men? This caused the ancestral hall's chief elder to roar. This is also a good opportunity. Kill them all, and the race of the burial realm will never be able to rise again. Many of the old antiques were absent-minded. How difficult would it be to kill them all? Of course, the current situation was quite cruel for Su Yan and the others. More than 10 young overlords had stood out, and there was even a young supreme being like Emperor Nan. Once they joined forces, even the 5 great experts might not be able to stop them. Join forces and kill them. Once they join in, don't even think about getting a single reincarnation fruit. Sagely Battle God roared, his voice bewitching. Ma Il-yang was even more furious. This is the primal chaos ruins, not a place where you, Su Xianren, can be arrogant and despotic. Aren't they just 5 great experts? Join forces and kill them. Kill. Killing light crisscrossed the heaven and earth. Blade light and sword light surged like a tide. It was as if thousands of soldiers and horses were galloping. In an instant, the aura formed by the 5 great experts was torn apart by the resplendent light beams that filled the sky. More than 10 experts joined forces, and more than 10 peak heavenly deities erupted. This was a shocking scene. However, no one had expected that when the battlefield was about to unfold, someone would attack. Emperor Nan, an emperor overlord at the peak of his vitality, walked over with a majestic gait. In this battle of heroes, he emitted his prestige and shouted, "Emperor Nan, it's time to change your name. Luo Tiandu, what are you doing here? Get out of here immediately." Emperor Nan's face darkened. He stared at Luo Tiandu, who was rushing over, and said angrily, "How dare you interfere with the situation? Do you still have the great Luo Empire in your heart? Get out of here immediately. Otherwise, I won't let you off easily." "Emperor Nan, what are you talking about? Come and fight." Luo Tiandu's fighting spirit was high. He took out a divine spear and rushed forward, blocking Emperor Nan, who had extraordinary combat strength. Some people's faces turned pale. These were the 2 great princes of the great Luo Empire. No one had expected that other than Emperor Nan, there was also Luo Tiandu, who had unparalleled combat strength. This scene made the great Luo Empire's princes in the outside world speechless. Tiandu had grown up, but an empire could only have one emperor. Luo Tiandu didn't want to admit defeat and wanted to fight to the end. However, how could Emperor Nan be defeated so easily? "Luo Tiandu, I will remember this kindness." Su Yin clenched his fists. If Luo Tiandu could stop Emperor Nan, it would reduce the pressure on them by a lot. Among them, Su Yin paid the most attention to Zhu Tian and the other 2. Now that one of them was gone, the pressure was immediately reduced. "Su Yin, you can't escape this calamity." Immortal Body and the others took the lead and rushed forward. Their eyes were filled with cold, killing intent, containing the belief to kill Su Yin. "Then let's fight." Su Yan's eyes were wide open as he stared at the dozens of powerful enemies rushing over. He held the immortal iron rod and roared, "You want to kill me? Let's see how many of you can survive." The 5 great experts recovered, and their auras merged, forming a destructive field. It was as if they had condensed into a majestic lion that rushed forward. "Kill! Kill Su Yin. Can't we suppress the 5 of them if we join forces?" "Hee. There is no suspense at all. Let's end this battle as soon as possible." The experts who were charging over recovered one after another and released their strongest fighting strength. A boundless storm surged out and rolled down like an ocean. It began to suppress Su Yin and the others. It was a scene of heaven and earth being destroyed, and the whole place was rippling with destructive ripples. Turbulent waves were born as the 2 fields collided. The sky collapsed and the earth cracked. Ghosts cried and gods howled, and the void exploded. The impact caused the blood-stained mountains to tremble. Battle of the Kings, the gods were all trembling. The world seemed to be bleeding and wailing. The waves of their battle were too spectacular. If this was not an important area of the incomplete universe, it would not be able to withstand their confrontation and would be destroyed. The great battle broke out, and divine light surged between heaven and earth. The collision of the 2 mighty forces gave birth to stormy waves that filled the sky. Boom! A figure with a valiant aura, the most blazing and ferocious, crossed the sky in an instant, like an ancient comet hitting the earth. His fist was unparalleled, like a cosmic comet rotating and rushing into the starry sky. "Kill! Su Yin roared at the sky. His fists surged with starlight that filled the sky, forming a condensed sea of stars that suppressed forward. Zhu Tian also roared and rushed up madly. His big hand covered the sky and turned into a dark sky, wanting to block Su Yan's unparalleled fist radiance. At the same time, a group of experts joined forces to attack, wanting to cooperate with Zhu Tian to stop Su Yan. Boom! When a thunderous explosion rang out, many of the spectators were terrified. The moment the fist and palm collided, heaven and earth collapsed, forming a torrential wave that swept out in all directions. As for the group of young experts who wanted to join forces with Zhu Tian, they were sent flying. A large number of people were sent flying out, and some of their bodies directly exploded. The crowd was aghast. What kind of situation was this? How many people could participate in the battle between two young overlords? Even if they joined forces with Zhu Tian to fight Su Yin, they would still have to endure the destructive shockwaves from the collision. Buzz! Su Yin brandished his immortal iron staff and smashed it at Zhu Tian, crushing several experts in body and soul. He seemed to have gone mad as he directly went berserk with all his strength. How valiant was Su Xianren! He had the power to swallow the starry sky. His moves were grand as he attacked forward, crushing the experts who wanted to join forces with him. They all retreated, not daring to move forward. At this moment, purple radiance surged in the sky like a vast ocean. A Qilin within was surging and roaring as it bombarded Su Yin. Little northern demon, Grandpa Baokai is here. Tai Baokai, who had been enduring silently, approached silently. All the experts had overlooked the Tai Baokai all this time. But when this creature awakened its potential, many people were dumbfounded. Tai Baokai transformed into a golden panda. Its body actually emitted blurry waves of beast deity aura. Suddenly, there was a fluctuation that transcended time, bringing with it a prehistoric pressure. It had transcended thousands of eras and finally gathered in this era. It penetrated Baotsai's body, setting it off as if the king of beast deities had returned. Roar! A loud roar exploded. It originated from Tai Baotsai's angry roar. Back then, it was imprisoned in the Qinkuan furnace and was tortured to the point of wishing for death. Now, Tai Baokai had returned to seek revenge. Evil creature, you think you're worthy of fighting me? The northern demon's pupils emitted purple divine light. He also shouted coldly. Purple ripples overflowed into the sky and collided violently with the golden ripples released by Tai Baotsai's roar. It was a heart-trembling scene. In the world of surging sound waves, many nearby experts trembled. They felt a sense of humiliation and helplessness. A battle between overlords was not something they could participate in. Even Yi Yuan, Tensor, and Luo Dali. It was as if three peerless generals had joined forces and released their greatest potential. They stood at the forefront and supported the sky. Chapter 1054. It was as if the world was bleeding and a tragic aura filled the air. All kinds of energy storms continued to erupt and boil, eventually forming tornadoes that danced between heaven and earth. They were powerful enough to destroy the world. A battle of kings, the gods were all shocked. The world was shaking, and it seemed like it would collapse at any time. The tens of thousands of blood-stained mountains rumbled continuously. It was hard to imagine how tragic the battle was. Almost everyone was fighting with their lives on the line. Su Yin and Zhu Tian had been holding grudges against each other for a long time. When the battle erupted, they were truly ferocious to the extreme. At the same time, the North Demon and the others saw Su Yan's rallying power. If they were allowed to retreat unscathed and grow stronger, the consequences would be unimaginable. This was a group of 5 young overlords that could intimidate the world. However, what made the experts pale was that more and more people were joining in. The small blood lion, the divine king, and the other 2 young experts directly charged into the battlefield. Although the 3 of them had a certain level of combat power with Yi Yuan and the others, their combined strength could reduce a lot of pressure for them. In short, this battle had ignited the madness of this world. This should be the craziest battle of the young overlords in this universe era. There were too many experts participating. Those who could admit their own brilliance were all extraordinary geniuses. Kill. Amidst the intense battle, shouts and roars shook the heavens. Su Yin and Tai Baokai blocked Zhu Tian and the North Demon. Every time they clashed, they were at their peak. Their blood essence surged as they bombarded their opponents. Every move they made used all their strength. Yi Yuan and the other two joined forces and stood at the forefront. They were under the greatest pressure. After all, they were facing 6 young overlords. They were holding up the sky. Even the 3 peak experts, the sagely battle god, were stopped by Tai Baocai's 18 banners. Although Yi Yuan and the others were under the greatest pressure, Zhu Tian and the others were actually the ones with the greatest battle prowess. Each of their moves could injure the young overlords. They were the greatest threat and had the strength to kill the young overlords. One intense battle. I didn't expect Su Xianren to have such great rallying power. Let's not talk about the internal strife of the Daoyuo Empire, but I didn't expect Su Xianren to be able to gather 4 young experts. One of them can even fight the North Yao head-on. The great figures who were entrenched in the outside world were all alarmed. There were also experts from the demon region whose expressions were uncertain. How could Tai Baokai be so tyrannical? It had already exchanged over 100 blows with the Northern Devil, yet it wasn't at a disadvantage. Just how did this creature cultivate? How many years had it been? There were also experts from the demon region who were indecisive. Tai Baokai was the true master of the banners of demons, and the ancestral teachings passed down from generations of the demon region stated that the one who obtained the banners of demons would be the king of demons. Bastard. An expert from the North Yao tribe had a gloomy expression. If they couldn't get rid of Tai Baokai, the demon region would definitely fall into internal strife. After all, this was the ancestral teachings passed down from generation to generation. Now, Tai Baokai had already proven itself. It was strong enough. No matter how great Su Yan's rallying power is, he still has to die. An elder from the ancestral hall said eerily, "We can get rid of them all in one fell swoop." The 3 experts at the front are fighting against a total of 6 young overlords. How long can they last? Moreover, the ancient array formed by these 18 tattered battle flags won't be able to hold off sagely battle god and the others for long. That's right. Once the killing array is broken, the 6 young overlords will break through the defensive line. What will the situation be like then? But with a total of 9 young overlords joining forces, who can stop them? Su Yin and the others will die without a burial ground. Another elder from the ancestral hall nodded in agreement. This caused the experts from the Dao Palace to fall silent. If Su Xianren was defeated in this battle, then all 5 young overlords would die with a grudge. But what if they won? Many experts from the Dao Palace shook their heads. It was already impressive that they could hold their ground. The chances of winning were close to 0. How could Su Yin and the others win? Unless Tai Baokai and Su Yin could kill the North Yao and Zhu Tian. But this was too difficult and impossible. In short, the battle situation was clear. If this dragged on, Su Yin and the others would definitely lose. Even so, Yi Yuan and the others had absolute faith. The 3 of them joined forces and risked their lives to resist the various kings. In this battle, their target wasn't sagely battle god and the others, nor was it Zhu Tian and the others. Their target was the North Yao. Their goal was to kill the North Yao. As long as they could get rid of this threat, Su Yin and the others would be able to fight for the reincarnation fruits. The battle between the North Yao and Tai Baokai attracted everyone's attention. This was a battle between the kings of all demons. One side was filled with purple energy, the other side was filled with golden light. After more than 100 rounds of battle, the 2 demons had the power to swallow the world. The North Yao's majestic appearance shocked the world. His humanoid body, covered in golden scales, erupted with a sea of purple light as he advanced. Qilin Fist. The North Yao roared. His fist was dazzling, and his strength was endless. The moment he released it, an immemorial Qilin pounced over. It was filled with supreme power, and it crushed the void and caused a huge explosion. Roar! Tai Baokai pounced over. The golden panda's body glowed with divine light. It raised its large round head and was filled with ferocity, accompanied by the might of the Tiger King, which could intimidate thousands of demons. Tai Baotsai's huge claws were surrounded by a boundless light. A ferocious aura that could tear apart the sky and split the sea spread out. It was as if a gigantic white tiger that could penetrate the sky and penetrate the earth was lying on its claws. White Tiger Fist. The experts were shocked. This was a shocking and long-lost ability. It was a secret technique of the White Tigers. The atmosphere of the battlefield was completely berserk. The Qilin ascended to the heavens, and the White Tiger descended. The two supreme creatures attacked each other. Blood flew everywhere as they clashed. The White Tiger's body was shaken by the Qilin's roar, and huge cracks appeared on its body. However, the White Tiger brandished its large claws, and it had the power to capture a true dragon. It hacked horizontally and tore apart the Qilin's abdomen. A huge wound appeared, and purple blood flowed out. This was a situation where both sides suffered. In the end, the Qilin and the White Tiger collided, creating a scene of foul wind and rain of blood. The two supreme creatures were disintegrated one after another. Many people's expressions changed. They saw the rise of a demonic Tao Overlord. Tai Baotsai's aura changed. In that instant, two resplendent streaks of heavenly light were released, and the heavenly wind danced. It was like a Kuan Peng emerging from the sea, a fish leaping through the dragon gate, and a phoenix spreading its wings. Two huge wings extended from Tai Baotsai's back. They fluttered wildly, and the void was blown full of holes. The stars in the sky trembled, and the blood-dyed mountains released rumbling sounds. North Beast, hand over your life. Tai Baotsai's body soared into the sky, and it was filled with the supreme demonic might of a demonic Tao expert. A pair of huge wings were like two immortal swords. They cleaved apart the space, and in an instant, they chopped down on the North Beast's body, directly splitting him in two. What? The entire battlefield was in an uproar. What was going on? Could it be that the North Beast's body was split open by Tai Baokai? However, in that instant, a king descended into the lower realm, releasing a tragic wave of energy that could slaughter millions of creatures. Everyone was shocked. The North Beast crawled out from the void, and there was a bloody wound on his waist. Just now, he was almost split in two by Tai Baotsai's huge wings. Evil creature, I'm going to kill you. The North Beast was furious. His hair danced in the wind, and with a loud roar, it was as if a demonic court had descended into the world. The sky was filled with huge figures. This was the scene of 10,000 beasts descending into the world. Tens of thousands of demonic Tao phantoms filled the entire sky. Suppress. In his shock and anger, the North Beast unleashed his strongest combat strength to suppress Tai Baokai. He used his own blood essence to create the scene of 10,000 beasts descending into the world. This was a kind of great spirit and great power. The boundless demonic Tao phantoms were filled with the indestructible heavenly might of the demonic court, and they also spread the terrifying pressure of the universe's great Tao. Roar! Tai Baotsai's figure soared into the sky, bathed in golden divine light, and looked like a god and saint. From his body, waves of aura that transcended past, present, and future surged. It was as if the main character of a universe had descended into the world one after another, and it was filled with the vague aura of a demon emperor. The 9 stalwart figures surrounded and protected the treasure, making it seem as if it was the strongest overlord of the demon realm. The scene of 10,000 beasts descending into the world trembled as if they wanted to submit. What's this? The North Beast's expression was ugly. What kind of energy was this? It was unfathomable, and it was difficult to trace its source. It was as if the torrent of the demonic Tao's history was crashing down, and it was also as if ancient history was suppressing it. It belonged to the spiritual will of the various demon domain's sovereigns. It was telling it that the teachings of its ancestors could not be disobeyed. North Beast, you're finished. Tai Baokai pounced over and roared furiously. When 10,000 beasts descend into the world, I, the beast god, am the king of all beasts. All demonic Dao's Dao and skills must obey my spiritual will. Some people were almost scared to death by Tai Baotsai's words. These words were too awesome. Was he not afraid of blowing himself to death? B** starred. I'm the true king of all beasts. You're just lucky to have obtained the banners of demons. I don't care what tricks you have up your sleeves, but you won't be able to escape today. The North Beast's demonic aura swallowed 100,000 miles. His entire body was surging with purple light. His figure was a little blurry and mysterious, as if he was burning. His entire head was blooming with a supreme aura that reigned supreme over all beasts. Su Yin used the heaven and earth eye to observe in advance. A purple vertical eye opened in the chaos. It ruled over the demonic Tao and judged all beasts in the world. When the purple vertical eye opened, the sky was filled with stars. In the process of fighting with Zhu Tian, Su Yin kept devouring the origin energy of the reincarnation fruits. He felt that he was about to succeed. Let's join forces and fight to the death. Yi Yuan and the other two experts roared and released their most invincible strength. They were bathed in blood. The three experts were like gods that crawled out from hell. They used all of their strength to resist the combined might of the 6 young overlords. They were about to exhaust themselves and went berserk at their limits. They wanted to stop the 6 young overlords no matter what. Boom! Suddenly, in the world in front of them, the tragic land of purgatory, the 18 tattered battle flags trembled violently. In the end, they could not withstand the combined attacks of the 3 experts. The 18 tattered battle flags were sent flying, and the array was completely destroyed. Su Yin, your end is here. The sagely battle god and the other 2 experts rushed out together. This was enough power to change the outcome of the battle. They directly crossed the horizon and wanted to join hands with Zhu Tian to kill Su Yin first before dealing with the other enemies. Chapter 1055. This shocking turn of events caused a huge commotion. Some people seemed to have seen the tragic scene of the young paragons dying in blood. Everyone was shocked. The 3 paragons of the sagely battle god teamed up and broke through the bloody purgatory formed by the 18 tattered flags. It was as if 3 ferocious beasts had broken through the gates. The earth-shattering scene caused all the cultivators present to exclaim in surprise. Not good. Yuan, Tensor, and Luo de Li's expressions changed. They didn't expect the sagely battle god to act so quickly. Now that the killing formation was broken, the 3 paragons appeared and were about to reach Su Yin. Roar! The 3 paragons roared and released their strongest potential. They wanted to push the 6 young overlords away and stop the 3 paragons of the sagely battle god. However, the 6 young overlords could also see that something was amiss. Since things had already progressed to this stage, if they couldn't kill Su Yin now, the consequences would be unimaginable. Ruthless, Su might even come after them to settle the score. Stop them. Ma Iliang laughed angrily. You want to help Su Yin and push the 6 paragons back? You are thinking too much. Let's work together and push them back. The 6 paragons unleashed their full power and tried their best to stop the 3 paragons of the Yi Yuan. In fact, the 3 paragons of the sagely battle god were severely weakened in the process of resisting the 6 paragons. Now, facing the fierce attacks of the 6 great experts, they were all beaten to the point where their blood and chi were churning. They could barely stand, and even the front line was being pushed back. This made Luo Dali and the others extremely angry, and their eyes turned red. Once the 3 paragons of the sagely battle god joined in, Su Yin would be doomed. Roar! Just as the sagely battle god and the rest were about to reach their destination, the 3 paragons of the sagely battle god turned their heads to look at the other battlefield. They were shocked. What a North demon. He really hid his strength well. What kind of eye is that? It made my primordial spirit unstable. Is that the North demon's trump card? I have never heard of such a strange eye in the world. Many people discussed among themselves. They felt their hearts tremble as they stared at the Northern demon. At this moment, the North Yao's power had reached its peak, and the result was within the North Yao's expectations. The North Yao had to kill Tai Baokai, even if he had to reveal his trump card. Only then would he be able to prove his identity and status. Of course, North Goblin did not expect Tai Baokai to grow so fast. If he did not use his trump card, he would not have been able to defeat Tai Baokai. Boom! A loud explosion rang out. This was the release of the Northern demon's aura. The space between his eyebrows cracked, and purple divine light flowed out. It tore through space and time as if it was the eye of the Demon King that had come from the depths of the universe. Ah! The Northern Yao roared into the sky. His godly power surged. This was the first time he had used the power of the heavenly eye since he had started cultivating. The Northern Yao's aura surged. When the vertical eye on his forehead opened, a vertical eye that contained the essence of the King of Demons was born. Ah! Many people trembled and coughed up blood. Tears of blood flowed out of their eyes. They were shocked. When they looked at Zhu Tian's vertical eye, it was as if they were witnessing the birth of the ancestral court of demons. The scene was too terrifying. It was as if the energy of 10,000 demons was gathered in the vertical eye, and it was filled with the power to destroy all demons. This is the eye of 10,000 demons. Zhu Tian was shocked. He did not expect the Northern Yao's trump card to be the eye of 10,000 demons. Actually, the four supreme beings who had been famous for a long time were able to have their current trump cards mainly because they had extraordinary trump cards. Now that the Northern Yao had been forced to use his trump card, no one expected it to be the legendary Eye of 10,000 Demons. Eye of 10,000 Demons. Even in the outside world, the major figures were shocked. The Eye of 10,000 Demons, one of the most powerful heavenly eyes of the demonic Tao, was too rare. It was 1 in a billion. Once the Eye of 10,000 Demons was born, it was destined to be an invincible trump card. It was said that if the Eye of 10,000 Demons was cultivated to great success, it could gather the ultimate techniques of all demons in the world and create its own invincible secret technique. What a Northern Yao! He really hit it well. He has already secretly cultivated the Eye of 10,000 Demons to such a level. As expected of the King of 10,000 Demons of the Demon region, the old antique's face fell, and the powerful expert from the Northern Demon bloodline stepped forward. Laughing loudly, he said, "That's only natural. The Northern Demon is the true king of myriad demons. He's the true orthodox successor. As for this vile creature, he's just an impostor, not worth mentioning." Someone sneered secretly. It seemed that the Tai Baokai was the orthodox one. This was the ancestral teaching of the demon region for millions of years. Moreover, the Tai Baokai was strong enough. It was just that it encountered the Eye of 10,000 demons. Wasn't it a little tragic? So this is your trump card? I think it's just SOSO. I thought it was the Eye of the Celestial Emperor. Tai Baotsai's eyes were cold. Suyin had already warned him to be careful. It's enough to kill you. The Northern Yao was full of confidence. He looked down at the Tai Baokai and said coldly, "Originally, we didn't have any interactions. I just didn't expect you to grow to this level. What a pity. I was prepared to use the Eye of 10,000 Demons in the ultimate battle, but I didn't expect to use it on you. You should feel honored to be judged by the Eye of 10,000 Demons. I believe that when this beast god's moment of glory arrives, you will kneel here and call me Daddy," the Tai Baokai said in a deep voice. "I think you really don't know the immensity of heaven and earth," the Northern Yao roared. The Eye of the Celestial Emperor between his brows shone brightly. It scattered the killing intent of 10,000 demons that was as deep as the sea. It was like a supreme light of order. In an instant, it struck down and pierced through the vast void. "Baokai!" Suyan's expression changed drastically. This power was too abnormal. Even someone as strong as him felt threatened. He forced Zhu Tian back in an instant and charged forward. However, along the way, the void trembled. One after another, terrifying figures rushed over. The sagely battle god laughed coldly and said, "Su Xianren, don't leave. Your charisma is indeed shocking. It's a pity that these heroes will all die here. If you're strong enough, perhaps you can send them on their way." B** starred. Su Yan's eyes widened in anger. His blood-stained hair danced in the wind. He really couldn't control the power of the body-nurturing technique. However, Tai Baocai's calmness made Su Yan calm down. This fellow would definitely think of a way to dodge if he saw that something was wrong. However, Tai Baocai didn't seem to have any intention of dodging. "Let's kill him together." The sagely battle god and the other two experts were enraged. They released their auras and formed a force that sealed the sky. The three experts rushed forward and used their mystiques to attack Su Yan. "You guys aren't worthy." Su Yan's figure traversed through the void, emitting the anger of a mad god all day long. His majestic appearance shocked the world. The light of the domain steamed and blurry, crushing the aura of the three experts. He waved his fist and pressed forward. Such a domineering stance shocked the two young overlords. However, there was no turning back now. They could only join forces with the sagely battle god to fight against Su Yan. Only when they truly fought with vicious Su did they realize just how terrifying this person was. Every move he made was filled with a powerful aura. His attacks covered the sky and the earth as he charged at them, launching a huge collision. Unfortunately, Zhu Tian wouldn't let go of this opportunity. He swung his blood-colored halberd at Su Yan. The reincarnation fruit was about to ripen. They couldn't delay any longer. "I need time." Su Yan was as fast as the wind. He used ground shrink to dodge the attacks of the blood-colored halberd. At the same time, Su Yan continuously used his body-nurturing technique to absorb the power of the reincarnation fruit. He felt that he would soon reach perfection. This freak. He can even hold on for a short period of time when the four experts are working together. Su Xianren's ground shrink is too shocking. However, if this continues, he will suffer losses very quickly. I'm afraid he will be defeated in less than half a cup of tea's time. Even his friends won't be able to hold on for long. "Looks like the outcome of this battle is about to be decided," someone said. However, before he could finish his sentence, he looked as if he had seen a ghost. They originally thought that the North Demon was powerful and could directly kill Tai Baocai. However, the result left everyone shaken. They felt a type of pressure that originated from the river of time, a type of supreme, heavenly might. Roar! Tai Baocai roared toward the sky. The world had changed. It was very terrifying. The world seemed to have returned to the barbaric era, to the era where thousands of demons ran rampant. One after another, blurry and terrifying figures appeared. They were like peerless demon kings. They revolved around Tai Baocai, making it look like a supreme demon. In front of everyone's shocked eyes, the energy from the eye of 10,000 demons and Tai Baocai's energy formed a terrifying collision. Two incomprehensible demonic auras intertwined. This was the terrifying scene of the destruction of the world-born. It was as if two great space-time dimensions had collided. There wasn't much of a ripple, but it emitted a fluctuation that made all living things tremble. He blocked the eye of myriad demons. The expressions of the North Demon experts changed. What kind of energy did this Tai Baocai grasp? It could even block the eye of myriad demons. "You are very strong. You have exceeded my expectations." The North Demon's eyes were filled with bone-chilling, killing intent. He smiled coldly. "However, no matter how strong you are merely a foil to my ascension to the Supreme Demon. After I kill you, what else can the demon experts in the world say? At that time, the demon region will be unified." "Mother Kerr, aren't you being too arrogant?" Tai Baocai cursed. "I will let you know why you died." In that instant, an ancient demonic aura was released. It made many people tremble. It was as if they had fallen into the demon Daozu's court. the expressions of the experts changed. The North Demon's aura became even stronger. It was as if he had become the ruler of the demon court. He had become a true supreme being of the demon region. This was an extremely grand power of the great Tao of the star domain. It spread out majestically. This was the source of the demon region's great Tao energy. When it was released by the North Demon, it actually penetrated his purple heavenly eye. In that instant, the aura of the eye of myriad demons increased greatly. Heavens! The gods trembled. This purple eye turned into a huge whirlpool that was filled with an aura that could devour all demons. Judgment of myriad demons. The North Demon was truly like the supreme demon of the demon Tao. He looked down at Tai Baokai and judged his people. The purple heavenly eye seemed to have left his forehead and floated in the void. It emitted an aura that could suppress all demons in the world. It suppressed Tai Baocai's aura until it collapsed. Everything had to submit under the North Demon's feet and tremble. Chapter 1056. What a terrifying eye of 10,000 demons. The gods felt their scalps go numb. Was this still a god? The energy released by the eye of 10,000 demons suffocated the gods. They felt as if their bodies were about to shatter. They were all terrified. Was this the peak power of a supreme being? At this moment, the North Demon was too strong. The eye of 10,000 demons had merged with the star domain's great Tao. Hence, the ripples released were like the descent of the 1,000 demons' ancestral court. It was filled with energy that could annihilate all demons in the world. Kill! The North Demon roared. The eye of 10,000 demons pressed down. It was a purple supreme treasure that was filled with killing intent. Before the aura even reached him, Tai Baokai almost lost his footing. Just the aura alone was enough to tear apart Tai Baocai's body. After all, the North Demon had used the star domain's great Tao's power. This great Tao's power was shockingly effective against demons. Many people felt sorry for Tai Baokai. He was a young overlord of the demon Tao. It was too tragic for him to die in the hands of the North Demon. Kiki, Suyin, why are you running? Why don't you just admit defeat and watch your brother die? What a joke. He sacrificed his life to save you. What a joke. But Su Xianren, you don't dare to fight with us. Sagely Battle God and the others sneered. They felt that the outcome was already decided. There was nothing that could stop the development of the situation. As long as Tai Baokai died, the North Demon would be free. Su Xianren's death was only a matter of time, and it would be very short. Looks like it's really going to end. Many people were speechless. Once Tai Baokai died, Su Xianren's invincible group would be completely defeated in this battle. Some people felt that it was a pity. After all, their glorious era had yet to begin. Was it going to end like this? Who said it's over? A furious voice rang out. It seemed to be Tai Baokai, who had been pushed to the brink of desperation. He roared, I don't know what a bunch of people are blabbering about. Master Baokai hasn't even finished warming up. What do you mean it's over? Shut the hell up. This Tai Baokai was too fierce. If he didn't like it, he would start cursing and scolding. However, they really didn't dare to talk back. Fear quickly emerged in their hearts. Could it be that Tai Baokai still had some tricks up his sleeve that would allow him to survive this calamity? That is, many people felt their hair stand on end as they saw the blurry yet enormous creatures revolving around Tai Baokai. All of a sudden, they opened their cold eyes one after another, as if the supreme beings of the demonic path were coming back to life. It was as if the rare phenomena had come to life with their own intelligence. Revival of the phenomenon? What a terrifying method. The gods began to tremble. There were a total of 9 blurry and mysterious figures, filled with unparalleled heavenly might. They had actually come back to life and evolved all kinds of mystical abilities and secret arts. It was as if the 9 supreme secret arts of the demonic path were being released here. A total of 9 great mystical abilities. They seemed to be the strongest mystical abilities of the 9 great demonic clans. This scene was enough to make people go crazy. The North Demon's eyes turned red. He guessed that this was the orthodoxy that Tai Baokai had obtained from the banners of demons. There was a legend in the demonic realm that said that the orthodoxy of the 9 great supreme beings was hidden among the banners of demons. Could it be that Tai Baokai had obtained all of the supreme orthodoxies? If that was the case, if he didn't kill Tai Baokai, the North Demon, wouldn't have an easy time in the future. Kill. The North Demon's aura was violet. He even burned his own life essence blood and pierced into the eye of 10,000 demons. This purple eye of heaven emitted thousands of rays of divine light, releasing a power that could exterminate 10,000 demons. The moment it struck, the territory exploded, and a terrifying crack appeared in the void. Boom! Tai Baokai suddenly stood up. This was because his fat body surged with 9-fold supreme light, surrounded by mysterious symbols. The moment he awakened, some of the demonic realm creatures nearby trembled, wanting to bow down and worship Tai Baokai. They really felt that the supreme being of the demonic realm had awakened. His aura was terrifying, filling the sky of the universe. Seal of the Demon Emperor, Tai Baokai roared into the sky, erupting with the power of his most powerful technique. 9 blurry and huge creatures formed all kinds of seals, releasing 9 layers of divine light as they charged toward the eye of 10,000 demons descending from the sky. 9 layers of supreme demonic divine light. The seal technique unparalleled, carrying a sense of oppression that transcended the river of time as it rushed into the sky, causing a great collision. Tai Baokai soared into the air, and the golden giant panda exuded the aura of a 9-fold supreme being. Even the insufferably large eye of myriad demons was pushed back by the 9-fold seal of the Demon Emperor and seemed to be on the verge of being sent flying. This is impossible. The experts of the Northern Demon race had extremely ugly expressions. How could such a ridiculous thing happen? The Northern Demon race had used all of their trump cards, so how could they not suppress Tai Baokai? It must be the inheritance of the banners of demons. This is not fair, not fair. Some demonic realm experts roared, causing others to shake their heads and laugh. Not fair. When experts fought for supremacy, it was a matter of life and death. How could it be unfair? The strong were strong, and the weak were weak. If they died, there would be nothing left. However, the powerful inheritance of the banners of demons made the experts of various sects jealous. The supreme inheritances of the previous supreme beings of the demonic realm were gathered in the hands of this generation's inheritor. It was truly terrifying. If the future Tai Baokai led the entire demonic realm, their race of the burial realm would have another peak race as an ally. This made the experts of the ancestral palace unable to sit still. If they didn't kill Tai Baokai, they wouldn't be at ease. Northern Demon, you're finished. Tai Baokai let out a long roar. The 9 layers of the Demon Emperorian seal appeared in the sky, filled with the power of the river of time. It was as if the power of the previous supreme beings of the demonic realm had crossed over, bombarding the enormous eye of 10,000 demons. I am invincible. I cannot lose to you. The Northern Demon's body was burning as he poured out all of his potential to maintain the eye of 10,000 demons. However, it was useless. No matter how powerful the eye of 10,000 demons was, it couldn't suppress the power of the 9 layers of the Demon Emperorian seal. The tables are turning. The Northern Demon's name is about to be rewritten. Unbelievable. Where did Su Xianren find such a ruthless person? Could it be that today a supreme being is going to be killed? The various deities felt their hair stand on end. They couldn't believe it. They saw Tai Baokai continue to soar into the sky, pushing the 9 layers of the Demon Emperorian seal forward. The eye of 10,000 demons was already beginning to distort. It wouldn't be long before the eye of 10,000 demons collapsed. At that time, the Northern Demon would undoubtedly be defeated. Roar! The Northern Demon's roar exploded. His aura was getting weaker and weaker. He was trying his best to maintain the eye of 10,000 demons. However, no matter how hard he tried, he couldn't suppress Tai Baokai's surging energy. The Northern Demon was about to fall into despair. Why was it like this? Why couldn't he block a single Tai Baokai? Was it because he was too weak? Or was it because the Tai Baokai was too heaven-defying? Kiki, you evil creature, if you want to turn the tables, you'll have to ask me first. At this critical juncture, a sinister voice resounded throughout the battlefield, causing the spectators to shudder. A person had returned. An unparalleled suppressive power was released, disrupting the stalemate of the battlefield. This was a figure with a terrifying aura. A terrifying suppressive power filled the air. Heaven's suppressing battle god. The entire battlefield was in an uproar. The heaven-suppressing battle god, who had been running away with a limp, had returned. This caused everyone's livers to crack. What was he going to do? Could it be that he was going to attack Tai Baokai at this critical moment? Oh no, the heaven-suppressing battle god is here. Yuan and the others were shocked. After all, with the heaven-suppressing battle god's strength, he could affect the entire battle. If the Tai Baokai was defeated, then the entire battle would be lost. They really didn't expect the heaven-suppressing battle god to be so shameless. What are you doing? A cold voice exploded. Su Yan's cold eyes stared at the heaven-suppressing battle god. There was a bone-chilling coldness in his eyes. Ha ha ha, why are you asking me? The heaven-suppressing battle god was like a madman. He roared, Su Xianren, you humiliated me time and time again. You didn't follow the rules and targeted me. Now you're asking me what I'm doing? Today, I, the heaven-suppressing battle god, will make you pay a bloody price. You piece of trash. If you dare to interrupt this battle, I'll make sure you die without a burial ground. Su Yan let out a roar. A wisp of cold, killing intent was released, sweeping across the entire battlefield. The onlookers were all terrified. A wisp of fear emerged in their hearts. It was as if they saw the scene of a battle god, standing among a mountain of corpses and a sea of blood. They were afraid of Su Xianren. Now, everyone could feel the flames of fury in Su Xianren. He was completely enraged. Su Yan, you bastard. You didn't follow the rules and targeted me time and time again. Now, you still dare to threaten me. I want to see how you're going to make me die without a burial ground. The heaven-suppressing battle god was enraged. He let out a wild roar. A supreme divine aura emerged from his body and swept towards the Tai Baokai. At this moment, the Tai Baokai was trembling. His aura was unstable. The 9 layers of the demon Empyrean seal showed signs of collapsing. This was the energy of the heaven-suppressing battle god. The pressure caused the Tai Baocai's body to tremble and spit out large mouthfuls of blood. The North Demon took the opportunity to use the eye of myriad demons and fiercely pressed down. Roar! The Tai Baokai let out a roar. Its momentum shook heaven and earth. It was as if an ancient dragon had gone crazy. It scattered the energy of the heaven-suppressing battle god and maintained the 9 layers of the demon Empyrean seal in a desperate situation. You bastard! Let's see how many times you can withstand. The heaven-suppressing battle god supreme body's power spread out. It was stronger than the last time. The heaven-suppressing battle god's power was vast and mighty. It wanted to suppress the Tai Baocai's power and let the North Demon eliminate it. However, his heaven-suppressing field was about to cover the Tai Baokai again. A strange sound was like the pulse of the world. It was a little shocking and made many people panic. They felt that something big had happened. This sound was very slow and very rhythmic. It came one after another. It didn't sound deafening. However, 3 strange sounds appeared in succession. Suddenly, all the cultivators present trembled, because in the direction of the source, it was as if a creature that had been sleeping for a long time was awakening from the beginning of all things. Su Yan's aura changed. He was a little confused, as if he had been sleeping for too long. However, the aura that was released from his body caused everyone to be terrified. Was this still Su Yan? An extremely majestic wave rippled out from Su Yan's body. One after another, it was as if billions of waves were erupting, releasing, and awakening. It was as if the sea of a universe was roaring. It was as if an undying creature was awakening. It was as if a tsunami had sunk the earth. The boundless sky darkened, and that terrifying essence blood flowed in all directions. The void trembled, and the experts directly fell weakly onto the ground. They truly felt as if a king that had slumbered for 10,000 years had returned, making them prostrate in worship. Ah! Su Yin looked up to the sky and roared. Terrifying air currents surged like a vast ocean. The impact caused the blood-stained mountains to tremble. The boundless waves rose from the ground and swept across the entire sky. It was as if the entire world was going to collapse and dominate the entire space. Vaguely, some people heard the Tai Bao Tsai's cursing voice. This beast god's moment of glory had arrived. At the crucial moment, Su Yin still stole the limelight. 9 Heavens Divine Sovereign. Chapter 10:57. Su Yin's entire body glowed with golden light. His essence blood surged and divine energy howled. It was as if a vast ocean was surging, shaking the heavens and earth. The world was trembling and space itself was collapsing. This was a surging wave of energy that swept through all directions. Many experts were shaken to the point of dizziness. They coughed up large mouthfuls of blood, and their eyes were filled with shock. How can this energy be so strong? Could it be that Su Xianren is an ancient heavenly deity monster that is cultivated since ancient times? The experts present felt their scalps go numb. Their hearts were filled with fear. What was this? The berserk Su Xianren's roar shook the entire world, shaking the crowd until they coughed up large mouthfuls of blood. He was like a grand heavenly furnace that was burning, erupting with an indescribable divine energy storm. How could a heavenly deity accumulate such powerful energy? Yi Yuan and the others were stunned. This was somewhat hard to believe. They all felt that Su Yin had used a forbidden secret technique. Boom! The sky was filled with majestic energy. Everything collapsed in a blur. Su Yin's aura had reached its peak and was savage to the extreme. It was truly like a condensed sea of the universe, displaying an unimaginable degree. Su Yin returned from the body nurturing technique. The first layer of the body nurturing technique had already been perfected. This shocking inheritance that his prehistoric big brother had passed down to him finally shone brightly at this moment. He was like an immortal that had stolen the roots of famous mountains and great rivers and was going crazy. His body trembled as endless waves surged out. Ah! The 3 indestructible body experts roared and released their strongest combat strength. They forcefully stabilized their footing and forcibly resisted the energy source released from Su Yan's body. But their hearts were in chaos. How could such an outrageous thing happen? Was this still a heavenly deity? Why was he so terrifying like a supreme god? The divine energy in his body was so exuberant that it made one's hair stand on end. He was simply like an ancient monster that had cultivated since ancient times. Even Zhu Tian's face turned pale. What kind of secret technique was this? How could it allow Su Yin to store so much divine energy? What kind of physique did this fellow have? Even someone as strong as the heaven-suppressing battle god had an ashen expression. This shocking change had shattered his confidence. At this moment, even the heaven-suppressing battle god wanted to flee. All of you scram. Su Yan's were returned. His eyes were sharp and resplendent. As he opened and closed them, the boundless heaven and earth flickered, causing many people to feel dizzy. In the face of Su Xianren's shocking outburst, they were speechless. This angry shout made the sagely battle god and the others' faces turn green. Su Yin was asking them to scram? They were all overlords of their generation. If they left just like that, then they were bound to lose a great deal of face, and it would become a stain that was difficult to erase. However, if they didn't leave, they were destined to face the berserk Su Yan's killing blow. For a moment, they were stuck in a dilemma, unable to back down. Scram! The roar of anger exploded once again, becoming even more terrifying. The entire world was boiling, roaring so loudly that a great disaster was happening. The return of the king. Su Yin let out a long roar with a thunderous roar. Rolling golden ripples swept out as if a million mountains were crashing down. The roar caused the blood in the three experts' bodies to churn, as if their bodies were on the verge of being torn apart. Good heavens, is Cienrin invincible? The crowd cried out in alarm. Their scalps were numb and their hearts were trembling. Even the young overlords who had just arrived felt like their livers were being torn apart. This was the sagely battle god and the other two young overlords. However, they couldn't stop Su Yin. Su Xianren's roar shook the three young overlords. Moreover, he rushed madly towards the future. The energy waves that emerged from his body engulfed the entire time and space, filling up every inch of the universe. The combined aura field of the three overlords was directly shattered. He was like a peerless god of war. His body traversed the vast sky. Everyone felt that he was like an immemorial comet, pouncing towards the three young overlords. Boom! In that instant, the heavens wept blood. The sun and moon lost their light. Even the great Tao rumbled. Terrifying energy surged out like a vast ocean. Although the spectating experts couldn't see anything clearly, everyone could see that there was a blossoming of bloody light that dyed the shattered void red. Without a doubt, someone had already been injured in a single exchange. Su Yin had recovered his peerless combat strength. His head of disheveled long hair danced wildly. His moves were large and large as he pressed forward. Every move and style carried an unalterable aura that was terrifying to the heavens. The three young overlords were all trembling and spitting out blood. They couldn't change this vicious person's energy. They could only brace themselves and face him head on. However, during the process, they were scared half to death. Was this still a heavenly deity? His energy was so terrifying that it made them feel suffocated. How can Su Xianren be so powerful? How'd he do it? This has broken the norm. I've never heard of such a thing. Some young overlords were trembling inwardly. What kind of secret technique was he using? How could he release such a violent energy storm? These were three young overlords, yet they were suppressed by Su Yin in a single exchange. Moreover, in the face of his peerless attacks, the three of them coughed out blood. At this moment, everyone felt a terrifying willpower. This was a type of unrivaled willpower that could suppress all enemies in the world. It was terrifying beyond compare. Ah! A young overlord cried out miserably. His fist had been smashed apart by Su Yin in a single exchange. Half of his body had collapsed, and his appearance was too horrible to look at. He was about to be blasted into ashes by Su Yin. He was trembling in fear and fled in panic. He never wanted to face this vicious person again. After returning from the body-nurturing technique, the seal on his physical body was removed. Now, what could stop Su Yin? Everything was reduced to a foil. Only his tyrannical aura had reached its peak. His divine bravery was exceptional as he blasted the three young overlords away. One of them was even about to have his body and soul destroyed. Everyone present went crazy. How could his combat strength be so heaven-defying? How could he suddenly go berserk without the slightest sign beforehand? You piece of trash, hand over your life. During the process of the three overlords being blasted away, Su Yin was like a ferocious dragon in human form. His pair of cold eyes stared at the heaven-suppressing battle god as he angrily shouted. Su Yin was only indulging in battle. After recovering from the body-nurturing technique, he had to quickly finish off his opponents and break through to the heavenly deity realm. As long as he could step into this stage, Su Yin could use his own body's combat strength to sweep away all enemies in the world. Su Yin, although the heaven-suppressing battle god was somewhat frightened, he was still able to maintain his composure. He angrily roared, "Humiliating me again and again. What do you think I am?" He has never played by the rules. If you have the ability, come over and have a fair fight with me. No one felt that this was a heavenly deity. Su Yin had definitely used a forbidden secret technique. You piece of trash, come and accept your death. Su Yin roared loudly. He was bathed in blood and went berserk. His body passed through the earth and crossed over to the end of the horizon. His might was even more shocking. It was simply a scene of mountains collapsing and seas splitting. In the entire space-time, only Su Xianren could dominate the world and look disdainfully at all kings. He was pervaded with an undefeatable aura that could not be changed. Everyone seriously doubted whether Su Yin was still a heavenly deity. This kind of energy, this kind of might, this kind of exuberant divine might, reached the peak of the vault of heaven and burned fiercely, making everyone present feel suffocated and uncomfortable. Was this really a heavenly deity? Even if it was a forbidden secret technique, how could it increase Su Yan's strength to such a level? This was the terror of the prehistoric Big Brother. The first chapter of the body nurturing technique that he imparted to Su Yan was already so powerful. This was not even a forbidden secret technique, but a kind of nourishing secret technique. It was truly heaven-defying. Moreover, there were a total of 3 chapters of the body nurturing technique. Su Yan had only grasped 1 chapter so far. He was especially looking forward to the next 2 chapters. Who would dare to stop Su Yan when he was like an invincible warrior passing through? His aura soared to the heavens and split the earth. He carried a supreme majesty as he stepped in front of the heaven-suppressing battle god. His shocking energy covered the entire area. The heaven-suppressing battle god's intertwined aura field directly collapsed. At this moment, the heaven-suppressing battle god was abnormally small in front of Su Yan. Bastard, Su Xianren, you are going too far. The heaven-suppressing battle god roared hysterically. This was the 3rd time he had been crushed. If this continued, he, the heaven-suppressing battle god, would have any hope of reaching the peak of experts? It would be difficult for him to even step into the king realm. Kill! He let out an angry roar. The power of the heaven-suppressing battle god was completely ignited and recovered to the extreme. A majestic figure appeared behind him. It was as if the heaven-suppressing profound mysteries could suppress the universe. It gushed out and faced the figure descending from the sky. Boom! Su Yan's aura swallowed the starry sky. His fist was unparalleled. A terrifying amount of essence blood gushed out in all directions as it sunk the void. One had to know that this was under the influence of the heaven-suppressing battle god's origin energy. Su Yan was still able to release such a ferocious force. This fist directly blasted forward with peerless strength and instantly pierced through the heaven-suppressing battle god's universal profound mysteries. The method that the heaven-suppressing battle god was so proud of was forcefully broken by Su Yan just like that. This shocked all the experts in the world. Kill! Su Yan's essence blood surged like a majestic dragon. Carrying the conviction to kill the heaven-suppressing battle god, this fist finally blasted through all obstacles and hammered the heaven-suppressing battle god's chest. Crack! His chest burst open as the heaven-suppressing battle god flew out uncontrollably. He coughed out large mouthfuls of blood and let out a mournful cry. This was a cry of humiliation, a cry of extreme grief and indignation. The heaven-suppressing battle god roared like a madman as he crawled up and fled in haste. Many people were dumbfounded. Su Yan's fist had shattered the heaven-suppressing battle god's confidence. The future heaven-suppressing battle god had probably been directly crippled. After 3 consecutive defeats, the heaven-suppressing battle god had already lost his confidence and didn't want to face him again. He fled as far as he could. But this time, Su Yan definitely wouldn't let the heaven-suppressing battle god off so easily. Boom! In the blink of an eye, some people saw Su Xianren's body sticking close to the ground as he madly rushed forward. For a moment, sand and pebbles flew everywhere as the mountains were overturned. He was like an invincible, fierce dragon as his aura instantly penetrated the void where the heaven-suppressing battle god was fleeing. Bang! The void directly exploded as people saw a golden foot descend from the sky and stomp on the heaven-suppressing battle god's shattered chest, stomping him into the mud. PFFF. The heaven-suppressing battle god spurted out large mouthfuls of blood. He didn't dare to look directly at the figure that was looking down at him. His entire chest was collapsing as the intense pain assaulted his body, causing him to faint. How do you want to die? Su Yin looked down at the heaven-suppressing battle god with overflowing killing intent in his eyes. Su Yin, the heaven-suppressing battle god's eyes were filled with fear as he lost control and said, "My uncle is a supreme expert. You can't kill me. If you kill me, my uncle won't spare you." Chi. Su Yin drew out the broken heaven-cleaving sword and cut off the heaven-suppressing battle god's head. He held the blood-stained head with his back facing everyone. His entire body was emitting a terrifying aura that deterred the world. Chapter 1058. A battle at the pinnacle that was supposed to be a stunning battle ended tragically in such a short period of time. The heaven-suppressing battle god was a heavenly-suppressing heavenly body of his generation. His battle prowess was extraordinary, and he had a great reputation in the primal chaos ruins. It was certain that he would become a divine king in the future, and there was also a certain amount of hope for him to become a powerful expert. But what do they see now? In just a few rounds, the heaven-suppressing battle god was killed, and even from the beginning until now. It was Su Xianren who crushed the heaven-suppressing battle god all the way and cut off the head of the heaven-suppressing battle god. This made the experts somewhat doubt their lives. Was this still the world they were familiar with? The heaven-suppressing battle god was a sovereign physique, and he killed him just like that. He even used such a tyrannical method to cut off the head of the heaven-suppressing battle god. Was this still a sovereign physique? Was this still a world where young overlords ran rampant? Su Yin, many people didn't even dare to look at him directly. His body was emitting the stench of blood, and his back was facing the masses. He was still holding a bloody head in his hand, which made the hearts of the experts tremble. This vicious person was too terrifying, and they couldn't control themselves. They had an impulse to prostrate and worship him. What was a sovereign? This was the peerless demeanor of an unrivaled sovereign. This battle made Su Xianren's prestige reach its peak. The big shots of the outside world were incomparably shaken, as if they were looking at a supreme overlord. The experts of the ancestral palace had a gloomy expression. This battle had completely established Su Yan's power. He was fully deserving of the title of an unrivaled expert of the younger generation, and he swept through all the experts of his generation. How many people in the world could compete with him? That's the heaven-suppressing battle god. The sagely battle god was terrified, and his scalp went numb. If it wasn't for Su Yin rushing to kill the heaven-suppressing battle god, perhaps their ending wouldn't be much different from the heaven-suppressing battle god. A true, unrivaled expert of the same generation had thoroughly established his position at this moment. Su Xianren is too terrifying. He killed the heaven-suppressing battle god and even pushed the Sun Dome into a dangerous place. Su Yin was forced into the incomplete universe by the mighty figures of the Fengtian domain. Everyone thought that Su Yin was a fish on the chopping block. But who would have thought that Su Yin would become more and more powerful as he fought? He even killed the heaven-suppressing battle god. This is the ferocious might of an invincible being, among the strongest of the same generation. How many people can contend against him? The whole place was in an uproar. Even the 6 young overlords who were fighting with Yi Yuan and the others were terrified. The shocking change in the situation made them want to retreat. All of them withdrew from the battle and wanted to escape immediately. Su Xianren killed the heaven-suppressing battle god so decisively. Isn't he afraid that the Taoist temple will target him? Someone said. He felt that the Taoist temple also had a peerless foundation and might not be inferior to the prehistoric Big Brother. Hearing this, someone shook his head and said, the Taoist temple doesn't participate in any battles at all. Even if a disciple of the temple dies, the Taoist temple won't target Su Yin. The Taoist temple won't intervene in the battles of the younger generation. For a long time, the Taoist temple had always been like this. They would nurture their disciples, but they would never stand up for their dead disciples. Otherwise, the Taoist temple wouldn't have its current status. But no matter what, The mighty figures behind the heaven-suppressing battle god couldn't sit still after the death of the heaven-suppressing battle god. However, there was also a taboo behind Su Yin. Would the mighty figures of the Taoist temple dare to target Su Yin openly? Can the old man overseeing the great Tao city still hold his ground? In the outer regions of the reincarnation universe, the big shots of the various clans were scared because they saw the raging flames surging out of the great Tao city. The old man overseeing the great Tao city was the uncle of the heaven-suppressing battle god. A mighty figure could kill millions of people with a single thought. The experts in the city were terrified. The destruction of the incomplete universe is imminent. Why don't you and I work together to destroy this place? Suddenly, Chiu Boyan's cold voice exploded, causing the souls of the experts to tremble. It was as if they had fallen into purgatory. This was the murderous intent of a mighty figure. Blood was still flowing from a bloody hole in Chiu Boyan's chest. His injuries were too serious. If he wasn't treated in time, he would die soon. Chiu Boyan's murderous intent was as vast as the sea. Now that the reincarnation fruit was about to ripen, this fruit was Chiu Boyan's life-saving panacea. At the same time, it was also a life-saving panacea for the old man from the Taoist temple. The murderous intent in the two mighty figures' hearts was like a tidal wave. They were about to lose control and kill their way in. This is bad. The expressions of many experts changed. If the mighty figures couldn't sit still and kill their way into the incomplete universe, the entire universe would collapse. Who knew how many experts would die? An invincible war god. Will this really become his death zone? Even the mighty figures can't sit still and want to kill their way in. Su Xianren's potential is too terrifying. It's very likely that the mighty figures will join forces to split open the reincarnation universe. Whether or not the taboo behind Su Xianren will come out will depend on this battle. I'm really looking forward to it. The experts discussed. An invincible overlord had appeared out of nowhere. Even the mighty figures were paying attention to him. Cold murderous intent continued to spread. Many experts gave up on the idea of continuing to fight for the reincarnation fruit. Even if they could obtain it, could they really bring it out? The northern demons are almost done for. Some people cried out in alarm. This caused the northern demons to become restless, not to mention the mighty figures. Even they couldn't control themselves and wanted to kill their way in. However, the incomplete universe still existed. Once those who surpassed the divine king entered, their chances of survival were 99%. They would also die if they entered. Don't interfere. Let me kill him. Tai Baotsai's deep voice rang out. 9 layers of divine radiance rose from its fat body and evolved into the seal of the demon emperor. It was still colliding with the northern demon's eye of 10,000 demons. You want to kill me? You won't be able to. The northern demon roared in grief and indignation. Its demonic king aura surged as it burned its source of life to maintain the eye of 10,000 demons. It wanted to block Tai Baokai. However, the 9 layers of the seal of the demon emperor were too powerful. It continuously rose into the air, causing the eye of 10,000 demons to become somewhat blurry and dim. It was a powerful trump card that it was so proud of, but it was extremely difficult to suppress Tai Baotsai's potential. Northern Demon, you're finished. You targeted me in the past. Now is the time for retribution. Tai Baotsai's body rose into the air. It also erupted with the greatest amount of energy, igniting its source of life. No matter the price, it wanted to kill the Northern Demon. Su Yin frowned slightly. He was really worried that Tai Baotsai's losses were too great and its foundation would be damaged. However, Tai Baokai couldn't swallow its resentment if it didn't kill the Northern Demon. Back then, it had been imprisoned in the cauldron of heaven and earth and burned by its ancestral fortune. The process had been so painful that it wished it was dead. Every time it recalled this, Tai Baokai would gnash its teeth in hatred. Now that it had the strength, it didn't want anyone to interfere in this battle. Kill! Tai Baokai roared loudly. The 9 layers of the seal of the Demon Emperor began to rotate. The 9 seals were a bit blurry, but they represented the 9 supreme demonic kings of the 9 demonic realms. They were filled with a majestic energy that transcended time and space, surging violently into the sky. Under the shocked gazes of everyone present, the eye of 10,000 demons finally couldn't withstand it. A huge crack appeared on its surface. PFFF. The northern demon screamed and spat out large mouthfuls of blood. This was the reverse flow of its lifeblood. The northern demon's aura began to weaken uncontrollably. Northern demon. This scene caused the northern demon experts to cry out in pain. This was an outcome that they couldn't accept. It was fine if the northern demon died at the hands of Su Yin, but if it died at the hands of a northern demon, the consequences would be unimaginable. Tai Baokai would definitely become the new king of 10,000 demons. Sooner or later, it would take control of the banners of demons and return to the demonic realms. When that time came, the northern demons would be completely finished. I refuse to accept this. The northern demon's miserable cries echoed throughout the heavens and earth. Who would be willing to accept such an outcome? It would have been fine if it had lost to Su Yin, but it had lost to Tai Baokai. Go to hell. Tai Baokai let out a heaven-shaking roar. It released all of its energy, forming the 9 layers of the seal of the Demon Emperor. It smashed forward, completely piercing through the eye of 10,000 demons. A terrifying radiance of energy slammed into the northern demon's body. It was a scene that caused the entire world to tremble. The northern demon, a near-invincible king of the demonic realms, who was on the verge of becoming the supreme demonic realm's supreme ruler, was now being crushed by the 9 layers of the seal of the Demon Emperor. Its body was shattered, and was almost blasted into a pile of meat paste. Good. Su Yin couldn't help but roar. He recalled how Tai Baokai had almost been burned into ashes. His emotions surged, and he clenched his fists. He had gotten his revenge. Ha ha! Su Yin looked up to the sky and laughed. Tai Baokai had killed the northern demon. The significance was completely different. A new supreme demonic realm's supreme ruler. Everyone stared at Tai Baokai, the fat, giant panda, with reverence in their eyes. Many people couldn't believe it. A strange creature had actually killed the northern demon. Who would dare to believe it if word got out? It was like an ant overturning an elephant. Brat, support me. Tai Baokai, who was majestic in the eyes of others, sent a weak voice transmission to Su Yin. I, the beast god, am a hero. I can't allow any mishaps to happen. Su Yin's face fell. What kind of situation was this? Tai Baokai had lost too much, and it looked a little old. Its foundation had been greatly damaged, and it couldn't stand still anymore. It would take a few months to recover from such heavy losses, and it would even require a large amount of natural treasures. Su Yin secretly used a gentle energy to stabilize Tai Baocai's domineering demeanor. Quick, go and collect the northern demon's corpse. It has the Qilin's origin energy. Quick! Tai Baocai's expression flickered, and it was about to faint. But at this moment, Tai Baokai still hadn't forgotten about the northern demon's treasures. Su Yan's face darkened. He reached out and grabbed the northern demon's tattered body. But just as his hand touched the northern demon's tattered body, the northern demon's body moved strangely. It flew toward the place where the reincarnation fruits had bloomed like a bolt of lightning. What's going on? Everyone exclaimed. Was the northern demon still alive? Was it still alive? The northern demon is already dead. Who wants to take its corpse? Su Yin frowned. Just as he was about to give chase, his expression changed drastically. The vast territory's aura changed. Tens of thousands of blood-stained mountains glowed and turned into blood-red demonic mountains. They emitted a supreme aura that could dictate the life and death of all living beings. The entire world was suddenly filled with a vast amount of blood essence. It was boundless, and it was accompanied by a terrifying reincarnation aura that swept across the entire place. Even the sky was bleeding. In the bloody world, the 6 reincarnation fruits shone brightly. The 6 fruits seemed to be arranged together, chanting the 6 paths of reincarnation's ultimate meaning. Boom! Many experts gathered at the place where the reincarnation fruits grew. They were all waiting for the fruits to ripen. But now, a large number of experts suddenly exploded. Their thick blood splattered everywhere, dyeing the land red. Some people were scared out of their wits and screamed. At the source, thousands of experts died. Not a single one survived. They all exploded into bloody light, their bodies and souls destroyed. Blood of 10,000 spirits. Sacrifice. Su Yan's hair stood on end. This was a shocking method. Slaughtering 10,000 spirits to grow the reincarnation fruits. Chapter 1059. The bloody calamity was the focus of everyone's attention. The scene in the bone realm terrified all the important figures. Many leaders of the various races let out heart-wrenching roars. Heaven and earth were thrown into chaos, and the stars in the sky were blasted apart by the roars. What's going on? Why are the gods so angry? The entire Great Tao city shook. They heard the voices of countless important figures going crazy, and their hearts trembled. In the direction of the reincarnation universe, the roars reached the heavens, and the world changed. The stars in the sky exploded, and the suns were annihilated. All matter was destroyed in an instant. The sudden tragedy of the reincarnation fruits caused a great deal of chaos and anger. The important figures of the various races seemed to have lost their minds because the most outstanding seeds of their races were still inside, and they were even close to the place where the creation was growing. There were thousands of experts, and they were all destroyed in an instant. Once this matter was leaked out, it would definitely cause a terrifying storm of blood. Even in the process, Su Yan was very clear. He sent several young experts with domineering auras. These were definitely the young overlords of the various races, the disciples of the mighty figures. But they couldn't hold on for more than a few breaths of time. They exploded one after another, dying in anger. Even in death, they didn't know who killed them. Boom! The blood-stained mountains were swept up in a storm of blood, turning this place into a purgatory of death. The Iron Blood King and the others were all stuttering, and their bodies were covered in cold sweat. If they hadn't been watching the battle, watching Su Yan's decisive battle, they would have died too. They were really frightened. How many young overlords of the various races were gathered here? If it hadn't been for the battle between Su Xianren and the others, the number of people who died would be incalculable. It would be an astronomical number, a bloody event that would definitely cause chaos in the world. The bloody light in the sky rippled and flowed toward the reincarnation fruits at the same time. The 6 reincarnation fruits glowed, absorbing the blood essence energy of the dead experts. Even the North Demon's broken body turned into vigorous blood essence that dripped down, causing the 6 fruits to emit light and heat. This scene made the experts of the North Demon race go crazy. The North Demon was already dead, but now someone was using its corpse to nourish the reincarnation fruits. This made the experts of the North Demon race unable to control themselves. They howled in grief, and their hearts ached so much that they were about to faint. Who is the one who did this? Who is it? An old king's voice was filled with resentment. His eyes were red. The grandson he was most proud of had died inside, and not even his bones remained. Everything had been blasted into bloody light. Bastard! There were also great sect masters who roared at the top of their lungs. They were so angry that they almost went mad. Their race's young overlord had entered and died in the source region's bloody calamity. In short, the world was thrown into chaos. The places where the reincarnation fruits bloomed suffered heavy casualties. Could it be that the reincarnation fruits already had an owner from that era? If that was the case, then the situation here was too terrifying. Some people thought back to the time when the reincarnation cosmos suffered heavy casualties as well. The number of people who died was immeasurable. Of course, it was hard to compare the number of people who died in that era to now. The battle back then left the cosmos in ruins. This battle could be considered bitter as well, but the number of cultivators who died wasn't that many. Who is the mastermind behind this? Su Yan was shocked. How many eras had passed? How many years had passed? Could it be that someone had been spying in the dark, waiting for one era after another to grow the reincarnation fruits? Now, they were even using the blood of 10,000 creatures as a sacrifice. Or perhaps this was the path that had to be taken for the reincarnation fruits to bloom. The reincarnation fruits were a supreme, divine medicine. There were extremely few legends about them, and the world's understanding of them was also extremely limited. Could it be that in order for the reincarnation fruits to mature, they had to use the blood of 10,000 creatures as a sacrifice? Hurry and leave. Large amounts of experts fled. They were all frightened. Even a group of young overlords withdrew. They had received a message from their family's experts, telling them to come out immediately. This was a shocking turn of events. The dead experts turned into roiling blood that rushed towards the reincarnation fruits, sprinkling down on the giant vines and leaves of the reincarnation fruits. The 6 fruits blazed brightly. They appeared demonic and terrifying. Each fruit was like a blood-colored space-time tunnel, filled with a boundless aura of life. Endless years passed. The reincarnation fruits had always been absorbing the energy of the waning reincarnation cosmos. Now, under the blood sacrifice of life, the 6 great fruits shone with boundless radiance. Reincarnation runes surged as they approached maturity. It's about to mature. Some people were envious. They didn't want to leave at all and wanted to wait for the reincarnation fruits to mature before leaving. Someone took out a weapon to test the waters. In the end, a treasure sword flew towards the source and directly shattered into pieces. There are fluctuations of an array formation. Su Yan's eyes widened. His universe, I was like a burning torch as he observed the place where the reincarnation fruit had bloomed. There were strange blood-colored lines being formed, as if they had formed a concentrated blood-colored abyss that emitted an energy that could devour all living beings in the universe. Su Yan's expression was greatly shaken. This was a familiar aura. This caused his expression to fluctuate. If it was really related to that matter, Su Yan was really scared. What should we do? Should we leave or stay? The Yuan and the others hurried over and gathered. The problem was somewhat serious. From the current situation, it was clear that it was too difficult to take away the reincarnation fruits. Su Yan left the Tai Baokai, which was so damaged that it couldn't even crawl up in their care. He said in a low voice, "It's not that easy to leave. Let's leave this place first. Even if the reincarnation fruits mature, the other party won't be able to take them away so easily." Su Xianren is leaving. Many people were paying attention to Su Xianren. When they saw his actions, almost everyone who wanted to stay wanted to leave and observe the situation quietly. However, just as this group of people was thinking of retreating from the direction of the source, the radiant light of the abyss rose up. This was an unimaginable energy fluctuation that suppressed the 10,000 blood-stained mountains and restrained all the powerhouses that wanted to escape. Su Yan roared at the sky and released his strongest combat strength. He tore open the sky with his bare hands and used his supreme combat strength to open up a spatial tunnel. "Leave quickly." Su Yan roared and berated them to leave quickly. He forcefully opened up the energy field and wanted to send them out. But Yuan and the others were somewhat hesitant. Su Yan didn't plan to leave. He wanted to stay inside. Su Yan wouldn't leave. He could leave just now, but he couldn't leave now. The other party's grasp of the situation was too astonishing. Once the 10,000 blood-stained mountains were under his control, even the experts here wouldn't be able to break open this situation. The other party would be able to smoothly take away the reincarnation fruits. They had fought until now for the reincarnation fruits. It wasn't worth it to leave now. Don't hesitate. He has already fought with this mysterious source. Let's leave first. Luo Tiandu's scalp went numb. He had almost died in this place back then. Luo Tiandu's words confirmed Su Yan's guess. This place was really man-made. He caught a familiar aura and saw a familiar situation. This place was like a miniature corpse blood sea. Corpse blood sea. Luo Dali was shocked. He thought of something. This place had a similar aura to the corpse blood sea back then. Back then, Su Yin had barged in and even taken away strands of primal chaos source chi. But now, the aura of the corpse blood sea had appeared here. It was even cultivating the reincarnation fruits and sacrificing so many experts. This made Su Yin want to stay and investigate. Yuan's group withdrew, but a group of hesitant experts had their bodies suppressed by the bloody light in the sky. They were in despair. Their bodies exploded one after another. They didn't even have time to struggle. This scene was too tragic. The entire place was covered in surging bloody light. It pierced through the heavens like a world-destroying heavenly diagram. The experts in the outside world lost control of their emotions. What's Su Xianren doing? Someone saw him forcefully open a passage through the domain and send Luo Tiandu's group out. Only Su Yin remained in the blood-stained mountains. This made the experts tremble in fear. Could it be that this fellow didn't care about his own life for the sake of the reincarnation fruits? I think it's Su Xianren who set up this killing trap. A senior elder from the ancestral hall spoke. His words were sinister and malicious. It was Su Xianren who caused this disturbance from the beginning. Don't you think the timing of the reincarnation fruits ripening is too coincidental? Don't forget that Su Yin is also a formation grandmaster. Moreover, there's a taboo behind him. It must be the taboo that told him to cultivate the reincarnation fruits this way. These words caused a great commotion. Some were shocked, some were furious, and some were suspicious. Was Su Yin that bold? However, some people felt that he had almost killed the entire sealed heaven region. What else did he not dare to do? If Su Yin really dares to do this, we definitely won't forgive him. A group of incomparably sorrowful and indignant old experts joined hands and said, even if a taboo were to stand out, I would still dare to say such a malicious thing. I think we should tell the truth. If Su Yin really dares to do this, we definitely won't forgive him. An expert who was still rational said, how can we believe the one-sided words of your ancestral hall? The truth is right in front of us. Our clan Zhu Tian has already left, but Su Yin still refuses to come out. The problem is obvious. He wants to take away the reincarnation fruits that have been cultivated. The ancestral hall elder's tone was gloomy. He then lamented, it's a pity that the reincarnation fruits are hidden by a great formation. Even almighty bone realm experts can't see what's going on inside. Although they couldn't produce any evidence, there were still many people who suspected Su Yin. Many people were silent. They couldn't even see a corner of the truth in this bloody place. Su Yin stood tall in the middle, using his powerful foundation to forcefully suppress the formation energy radiating towards him. Su Yin clenched his fists slightly, his golden eyes surveying the blood-stained world. He coldly shouted into the void, come out. I know it's you. Now, there's no point in hiding any longer. His words spread throughout the entire blood-colored weave, but there was no reply. Su Yin continued to sneer. What? I took away your primal chaotic source chi back then, and now you want me to take away your reincarnation fruits? Su Yan's words were like heavenly thunder, causing the bloody place to rumble. Bloody light surged like an ocean overturning. A pair of cold, blood-red eyes suddenly opened in the void, and a cold voice sounded. Haha, lucky bug. You think you're safe by staying here? Do you think this is still the time when I was asleep? Although trash like you is a top-notch seed, I don't know how many of you I've killed over the years. Epic after epic has passed, and there aren't many yous in this world who are worth my time. Chapter 1060. Epochs after epochs had passed. Now, the mysterious expert who had led the bloody massacre behind the scenes had said such words. Su Yan's heart trembled. This sentence was too shocking. An expert who had lived for many eras of the universe? But now, someone said that he had lived for a long time and had fought in various epochs. Who would believe this? But now, it was suspected to be a young man who had lived for a long time. Could it be that this person had grasped the profound meaning of longevity? Or could it be that he had used the reincarnation fruit to extend his lifespan from epoch to epoch? What was this place? This was the reincarnation universe. This was the place where the supreme divine medicine, the reincarnation fruit, grew. The reincarnation fruit had appeared before, but unfortunately, no one knew who had obtained it. Now, the mysterious killing plot had appeared out of nowhere. With the blood of 10,000 spirits as a sacrifice, it had actually ripened 6 reincarnation fruits. And all of this was led by the mysterious expert here. This made Su Yin feel incredulous and uneasy. In the bloody world, a cold voice exploded. The matter of the primal chaos source gas can be forgiven. If you answer a question of mine now, I won't make things difficult for you and let you go. Ha 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 ha. The originally calm world was now filled with cold winds, lightning, and thunder. It was as if a Cheelant's roar had shattered the earth. A blood-colored aura that could destroy all life surged out, as if a slumbering demon king was awakening. A cold voice sounded. I'm giving you a chance now. You have to cherish it. Answer me your origins. In the endless abyss, he saw the primal chaos ancestral vein erupt, saw billions of layers of primal chaos, heavenly essence surge up, and saw primal chaos source gas appear one after another. Su Yin could not forget this matter. The abyss hid a great secret, and the blood altar could not forget it. Who am I? Speak. How many epochs have passed? How many epochs have passed? The sudden appearance of the voice caused a living being in the dark to faintly show some kind of emotional fluctuation. Su Yin had managed to catch it. Su Yin seemed to be reminiscing the past. His face was filled with reminiscence and emotions. He said in a deep voice, "What year is it now?" The hidden creature was silent. It was unknown what he was thinking. After a long time, he asked, "You witnessed the collapse of the immortal planet? The reopening of the ancient road? Which path is where?" The creature hidden in the bloody world asked again. Su Yan's mouth was full of nonsense. He also didn't know what the path was. The remaining clans were the weak ones. They were known as the Celestial Court Remnant clans. You're lying, so you don't know anything. Ha ha ha, deceiving you? You really think too highly of yourself. Bastard, the situation is changing. Su Xianren is inside. Can he come out alive? Bullsh asterisk T. Luo Tiandu stood up and pointed at him angrily. If Su Yin really wanted to set up a trap, the people who would die wouldn't be them. Don't you know who would fall? That's right. If Su Yin had been the one to set this trap, he would have chosen to kill Zhu Tian and the others. After all, Su Yan's enemies weren't involved in this trap. There was no reason for him to do so. These words shocked Yi Yuan and the others. They sensed carefully and found that there was indeed an elusive cosmic energy in the reincarnation universe. It was surging towards the place where the reincarnation fruits were blooming. Tai Baokai suddenly roared. Could it be that to grow the reincarnation fruits, one needs not only the blood of 10,000 spirits, but also the unique cosmic energy of the reincarnation universe? If that's the case, then the universe will really die if the reincarnation fruits are grown. Reincarnation fruits. However, it was clear from the current situation that the reincarnation fruits weren't that easy to harvest. Once the universe declined again, there might be powerful beings who couldn't sit still. They would kill their way in to seize the reincarnation fruits. All right, Su Yin, I'll believe you this time. Su Yin fell silent. His human avatar had once shaken the abyss coffin and snatched away the primal chaos origin chi. This request of yours is a little too much, Su Yin said coldly. No one would easily let go of their human avatar and allow outsiders to observe them without restraint. His words surprised Su Yin. Could it be that the path was still there? Could it be that he still had to follow the mysterious ancient path to find the destination of the Celestial Court's billions of troops? Or could it be that the Celestial Court was still continuing in another space-time? Moreover, the Celestial Court and the buried realm had a deep connection. My guess is right. You don't know anything at all. His words were filled with contempt. That's exactly what I want. Su Yan's hair danced in the wind, and his entire body rippled with a terrifying aura. Along with the release of the origin of all things, the blood-red purgatory emitted a blazing divine light of the great Tao. The blood-red world sneered, and the entire domain changed completely. Blood-red light surged and spread out, rushing towards Su Yin one after another. Mobile phone. NO advertisement XN 81 XN. Chapter 1061. Heaven and earth were dark red, blood blossoming. It was extremely terrifying, tearing apart the heavens. I really think I saw a great killing formation at the pinnacle activate. The distant spectators all shivered inwardly. Even from so far away, the world began to tremble, the sun and moon losing their brilliance, covered by bloody radiance. It was difficult to see what kind of unforeseen event was happening, but there were some scenes that could be seen. A sea of blood appeared. A vicious aura that could slaughter all life was released, sweeping through the boundless rivers and mountains, horrifying many people until their hands and feet went cold. It seems to be suppressing someone. Seems like it is serene. Someone opened their heavenly eyes, vaguely seeing an indistinct figure in the great sea of blood. Even though it was releasing divine splendor, it was suppressed too fiercely, unable to see through Su Yan's situation. Some people felt like a mysterious black hand appeared, that it was the one hastening the ripening of the reincarnation fruits, similarly suppressing all experts who dared steal the reincarnation fruits. A tremendous sound finally erupted, as if the heavens collapsed, shaking many people until their eyes went dark, eardrums feeling like they were going to split apart. This was a horrifying scene. In this reincarnation cosmos, the most powerful cultivators were at the peak of heavenly deity level. But right now, terrifying waves were released from the source, as if a Cheelant's roar shattered the vast earth, divine might world-shocking, as if a blood-colored stellar stream was roiling downwards. Blood radiance erupted, piercing through the void, grand, fiendish energy spreading. This was precisely the heaven-covering sea of blood overturning, submerging everything. That figure was blurry to the extreme. Big bro, Luo De Li was extremely nervous. He didn't know what Su Yin encountered, but if it really was the corpse blood sea's dark hand that appeared, hastening the ripening of the reincarnation fruits, then there was great karma between Su Yin and himself. Back then, Su Yin stole the primal chaos source energy, even rescuing Luo Tiandu and King Flash. Back then, Zhu Fu and the others also slaughtered their way over, disturbing the blood altar's endless peace. The situation there was extremely terrifying, but now that this dark hand appeared, setting up a trap, it definitely wouldn't let Su Yin off lightly. One could tell from the current momentum that the energy fluctuations were too intense. Was this still a confrontation at the heavenly deity realm? It was completely like a sea of blood overturning the heavens, wishing to completely devour Su Yin, beat him down. Boom! Su Yin stomped his feet on the ground. His black hair danced in the wind, and his eyes burned like torches. Even someone as strong as Su Yin, whose body-nurturing technique had reached perfection and whose godly power could penetrate the heavens and penetrate the earth, would be suppressed by the bloodshed at any moment. Only Su Yin was unafraid. Even if it was an old monster, no matter how much he calculated, he still wouldn't know that Su Yin was opening the path to the heavenly deity's path. Once he crossed it, he would definitely attract the heavenly deity's great tribulation. Buzz! Su Yan's body was burning fiercely, spurting out vast waves of blood. If one were to observe carefully, they would be able to see the unparalleled potential in his body. He had been strengthened once again even when he had reached his limit. In the body-nurturing technique, Su Yin had devoured the origin energy of the reincarnation fruit, perfecting his body to a certain extent. At this moment, it was awakened in the extreme domain. A terrifying stream of blood essence soared from the top of his head, turning into an ancient dragon that coiled above his head, overlooking the desolate Ten Lands. The bloody light that filled the sky exploded, torn apart by the storm of blood essence that surged out from Su Yan's body. It's Su Xianren. He's fighting against the bloody purgatory. The spectating experts shouted. They saw a blazing figure glowing, roaring into the sky. His blood essence surged, and his great Tao divine power surged endlessly, rising to the peak level at lightning speed. Is Su Yin breaking through? Tensor suddenly said, his emotions surging. Once Su Yin crossed over to the heavenly deity realm, with his foundation, his combat strength would definitely erupt. It was hard to predict how powerful he would become. However, this sea of blood was simply too unimaginable. The powerhouse who was secretly controlling the array activated this ancient array. Streaks of blood light fell down, accompanied by an aura of life that could devour tens of thousands of lives. This formation was used to accelerate the ripening of the reincarnation fruit. At the same time, it could devour all creatures in the world. In the face of this powerful devouring, Su Yan's body flowed in reverse, converging into the blooming reincarnation fruit. In a short time, the 6 reincarnation fruits blazed with divine light. They were really close to ripening. In the process, the reincarnation universe even began to age faster. The entire universe was somewhat dim, even on the verge of collapse. This scene made the experts of various races entrenched in the outside world unable to sit still. The reincarnation universe would soon reach its peak. When the time came, they would definitely be able to kill their way in and pluck the fortunes. What delicious fresh blood! A sinister laugh was heard. It seems that the reincarnation fruit's effect will be even better because of your accelerated ripening. I really can't bear to kill you now. I wonder if the reincarnation fruit will be even more perfect if I slowly extract the essence from your body. You're thinking too much. Su Yan's eyes erupted with divine light. Within his precious body, the sound of scriptures rumbled and exploded. The instant the Origin Sutra was recited, Su Yan's corporeal body and great Tao became one. He transformed into a divine furnace that gushed with the fluctuations of the Origin Sutra. He also seemed to be splitting open heaven and earth. The divine furnace glowed and burned in the extreme realm. It seemed to be transforming into a heavenly furnace of the great Tao and completing a great evolution. When Su Yin operated the Origin Sutra to the extreme, the world really seemed to be repeating itself. It was being reorganized and everything returned to the origin. It was covered in dense primal chaos and filled with the majestic aura of the primal chaos. Su Yin used the primal chaos origin chi as the foundation and began to evolve his path to becoming a heavenly deity. This was a path that had to be walked. The strength of a heavenly deity was greatly related to the origin chi. Even the future divine king was the same. Suddenly, Su Yin let out a long cry. His aura changed under the guidance of the Origin Sutra. He saw a vast expanse of space-time, mountains, and rivers. It was like a seed of heaven and earth condensed together. But when it expanded and erupted, it was like a universe that encompassed all things in the universe. Heavenly deity, the god of heaven and earth. Heaven as the Tao, man as the earth. Su Yin had a kind of enlightenment. The Origin Sutra was ever-changing. It encompassed heaven and earth and was broad and profound. Every Tao had its own path of beginning. The more he accumulated, the more he grasped, and the stronger the Origin Sutra became. It was grander and more magnificent. Su Yan's previous accumulation wasn't in vain. Now, he had obtained a terrifying sublimation. I am heaven and earth. Su Yin stepped on the wilderness and released the power of the body nurturing technique. It was as if he had transformed into a vast and boundless land. He released tens of thousands of golden dragons of the great Tao. His aura really erupted to the peak of the peak and caused the blood sea to tremble. All the devouring power couldn't get close to Su Yin. This scene caused the hidden life form's pupils to shrink. There was a trace of astonishment in his pupils as he muttered to himself, "This is a kind of path that can break through the universe's prison. How could he have cultivated it? The universe's environment doesn't allow it. Could it be that he really originated from ancient times? Is he the same kind of person as us?" He probably didn't know that the later progenitor had 9 great heavenly passes. One of them could dream back to the era of the immortal planet and allow Su Yin to study the myriad Tao. He probably didn't know that the body-nurturing technique that the prehistoric Big Brother had grasped could encompass the aura of the origin of all things in the universe. This was also a kind of self-sealing secret technique that could even allow one to survive for a long time. This was Su Yan's opportunity. It was the key point for him to ignite the path of the heavenly deity. Suppress. A blood-colored figure appeared. It was a bit blurry, and his aura was that of a perverted monk. He couldn't just watch Su Yan complete his path. Boom! The boundless sea of blood overturned and pressed down from all directions. It wanted to interrupt Su Yan's cultivation path and suppress him, stealing the answers he wanted to know. As the peerless pressure assaulted him, Su Yan felt a premonition of danger. Strands of chaotic energy were produced from his body. His flesh shell was covered by the energy of the mother of primal chaos. Especially in his current state, he was filled with an astonishing aura, causing Su Yan to be filled with the might of the king of primal chaos. However, the pressure aimed at Su Yan was like an avalanche. The bloodlight pressed down on him, layer after layer, wanting to crush Su Yan. The beginning of all things. Su Yan let out a long howl. Come from the primal chaos. Go to the primal chaos. Buzz. Su Yan's body shone, surging with terrifying primal chaos energy. Primal chaos waves surged between heaven and earth, surging to the extreme. Su Yan was drowned in primal chaos energy, and a path of heaven and earth began to extend, interweaving with boundless power. This was his strongest state. His battle prowess was unparalleled, erupting at the extreme. He chanted sutras, one syllable after another, filled with the power to split heaven and earth. In the end, Su Yan's body surged with immortal splendor, densely covered with terrifying primal chaos symbols. It could easily crush the void. Strands of profound Tao fluctuations spread out, turning into the source of all things, taking root in Su Yan's body, turning into a seed that took root and sprouted in his body, surging out wave after wave. The fluctuations of the supreme deity of heaven and earth. It was as if an immortal scripture was imprinted in Su Yan's flesh and blood. Resplendent light surged, piercing through the blood light that filled the sky. Su Yan also seemed to have turned into a small golden person. His appearance was solemn, and he was resplendent. It was as if he was welcoming a new life. Especially within his body, strange fluctuations surged. This was the birth of a new type of energy. At first, it looked very calm, but when it was transmitted, it was like the mountains and rivers of the great earth. The atmosphere was vast and boundless, able to encompass all things in the world. Su Yan turned into a divine seed of heaven and earth, taking root and sprouting. His entire body surged with light, constructing his future cultivation path. That was the supreme deity that overlooked heaven and earth, appearing behind Su Yan's back, supreme and unsurpassed. This is his vision. The shadow in the blood-red world muttered, pondering. He was no longer in a hurry to make a move. He wanted to see what exactly Su Yan's Tao and law were. In his mind, no matter how strong Su Yan's battle prowess was in the heavenly deity realm, there was no way he could escape from his grasp. He recalled the vision behind Su Yan at the blood altar. He saw a blurry primal chaos, carrying with it the pressure of time and space. He saw one supreme figure after another in it. Now, he wanted to see more. He wanted to see a deeper level of the primal chaos. He was sure that he could continue to explore different profundities in the primal chaos, because he vaguely felt that this was like the legendary blurry image of holding up the heavens. Right now, he had to figure out what was going on. Chapter 1062. In the blood-red world, a figure sat cross-legged. His body emitted a divine light that interweaved in the void, forming a strange image. It looked like a figure, but it was like a supreme god that ruled over the universe. Its power was immeasurable. Su Yan used the world to prove his Tao, but this world was Su Yan's true body. His appearance was solemn as he chanted the Origin Sutra. Sound after sound of the great Tao rang out, as if it was the supreme sound of the creation of the world. Home. Primal chaos surged within Su Yan's body, dividing into yin and yang. It was as if an yin and yang Tao diagram was engraved in the void. Vaguely, a vague aura of a deity was emitted. Su Yan's mind trembled. He had grasped it. This was the energy of a deity. It was grand and exceptional, about to fill the entire world. He was especially excited. After all, he had no experience on this path and no one to guide him. He had to fumble around on his own. Of course, at the crucial moment, the Origin Sutra gave him inspiration, allowing him to find the correct path. 1. The wondrous sound of the great Tao appeared within his body. It was now a critical moment. Su Yan was expanding heaven and earth. The body-nurturing technique expanded the grand earth. His power of 10,000 Tao outlined the firmament. Back then, when the Origin Sutra was operated to the extreme, rivers of scriptures appeared in the complex firmament world. They crisscrossed like seas of stars. In the end, 10,000 stars appeared in the sky, revealing the summit of the firmament. Endless scripture symbols appeared, and when they slowly combined together, they formed a grand heaven that released the charm of the great Tao. In this magnificent scene, Su Yan seemed somewhat insignificant at this moment. The moment he pushed the 10,000 great Tao to merge, he had a kind of enlightenment. The Heavenly Power chapter was like a heavenly book that opened in his sea of consciousness, causing his primordial spirit to become transparent. He had comprehended the most important chapter, causing his aura to rise sharply. So that's how it is. Ha ha ha. Su Yan laughed loudly. He didn't expect that in the process of constructing his path to deity, he would be enlightened and comprehend the Heavenly Power chapter's transformation. At this moment, he felt like he was a master of strange arts. He could observe the great power of heaven and earth and understand its profound changes. The heavens are helping me. Su Yan laughed loudly. The heaven and earth he outlined became even more magnificent and majestic, as if they had merged into one. The universe was divided into yin and yang. Now that yin and yang merged, it finally shook out the terrifying power. The vague aura of deity became clearer, causing Su Yan's entire body to flourish. Radiant golden light that illuminated the blood world. Chaos as the root. Su Yan let out a deep Tao sound as he controlled the primal chaos. With the source Qi as the foundation, he seemed to have transformed into the controller of the primal chaos as he emitted a vast primal chaos domain that covered the sky and the sun. If Su Yan became a seed, he would be buried in the primal chaos and grow strong. Everything was so natural. Since the heavenly god's power had been sketched out, the rest of the cultivation would be a matter of course. All creation. He then let out a cold voice. I am heaven and earth, chaos as the root, all creation as the source. Prove my great Tao of deity. The instant the wondrous sound of the great Tao appeared, the hidden life form in the scarlet world glared angrily, causing the calm scarlet purgatory to tremble violently. A boundless scarlet light descended from the sky, wanting to suppress Su Yan. But it was too late now. Su Yan's path to deity had been opened. In his body, the aura of deity surged. A seed sprouted and grew, growing in the chaos. The waves it released penetrated the entire world. This strange, grand, magnificent, and sacred fluctuation continued to spread out. The blood-red world rose up and began to rumble and roar. The creature hidden in the blood-red world was infuriated. It let out a roar while clenching its teeth. You bastard, you're breaking through, but you haven't reached the heaven god realm yet. You're actually undergoing the tribulation. It had already felt that the ancient world of reincarnation, because of Su Yan's aura, gave birth to an extremely terrifying wave. The energy of reincarnation seemed to have crossed thousands of eras, penetrated through time and space, and evolved into an ancient heaven and earth thunder punishment. It was so angry that it wanted to spit out a mouthful of blood. This was the place where the reincarnation fruit grew. It had a great array that it had painstakingly set up. Once the thunder tribulation descended, what would be left? Moreover, what shocked him the most was that Su Yin was actually able to undergo the tribulation in this world. This was the ancient reincarnation universe, an incomplete universe secret realm that was about to cease to exist. But Su Yin could actually trigger the universe thunder punishment that was born in the reincarnation universe. This caused the expression of the life in the blood world to change. It knew that something big was about to happen. Could it be that the reincarnation fruit is about to ripen? In the dim world of reincarnation, the young experts who were still standing there were shocked. Everyone could feel that the origin energy of the universe in the incomplete universe was madly converging towards the mountain range. Look, everyone was terrified. In the world of bloodlight, a huge hole appeared in an instant. A huge black vortex was born. As it stirred, the sky collapsed and the earth sank, burning everything. The energy of the thunder tribulation. An old cultivator stammered. Could it be that the birth of the supreme divine medicine reincarnation fruit will be accompanied by a thunder tribulation? There's such a ridiculous thing. That's not possible, right? Could there be an expert undergoing tribulation in there? But who could it be? It's impossible for Su Xianren. He's already a deity. It's impossible for him to break through to the divine king realm here. The experts found it hard to believe. Tai Baotsai's face was solemn like an old swindler. He grinned and muttered to himself. According to the ancient legends, the birth of a supreme divine medicine must be bathed in thunder tribulation. Once the tribulation fails, the divine medicine will be destroyed. This muttering sounded like Tai Baokai talking to himself. In reality, many people heard his voice. Once the news spread, it caused the cultivators present to go crazy. The supreme divine medicine was undergoing tribulation. It was understandable that the divine medicine was about to be completed. As long as the reincarnation fruit finished bathing in thunder tribulation, it would be completely ripe. Quick, spread the news. The reincarnation fruit will be ripe after the tribulation. Many people shouted and dispatched their subordinates. They spread the news. There were also old cultivators who were at a loss. Was there such a thing? However, some young geniuses with astonishing origins said, there is indeed such a thing. I've seen similar legends in the ancient records of my family. It's said that the heaven-defying divine medicine will be tested by heavenly tribulation. That's because this type of divine medicine is too heaven-defying. Tai Baokai was stunned. This beast deity was just speaking casually? There really was such a thing. Yuan and the others were mainly worried that someone would see through Su Yan's tribulation. Therefore, Tai Baokai said this to distract everyone's attention on Su Yan. After all, if the news that Su Yan was undergoing tribulation spread, there would definitely be experts who would intervene. This way, the risk of Su Yan's tribulation would be even greater. They could not forget the tragic incident where Su Yan had almost died during the lightning tribulation of the Great Tao. Of course, this time, Su Yan chose to undergo tribulation in the reincarnation universe. It shouldn't attract heavenly tribulation, right? Boom! Whether they believed it or not, the thunderous sound had already exploded. It was deafening and spread over hundreds of thousands of miles. That kind of momentum was really as if it was burning the world. When the black whirlpool began to operate, it was enough to crush all life in the universe. This was the heavenly tribulation that originated from the reincarnation universe. As it spat out, the reincarnation universe would also age faster. This universe really couldn't hold on for much longer. The source of all this was Su Yan. The more terrifying his aura was, the more vast and magnificent the energy of the lightning tribulation he attracted. Finally, one day, the black whirlpool spread over thousands of miles. This heaven-defying scene scared the experts so much that they trembled. Looking from here, they could see a super strong storm gathering. Within the black whirlpool, there were bolts of black lightning surging out one after another. Between heaven and earth, there was a drifting rain. This was black rain. It was like a mountain flood overturning, like a vast ocean bursting its banks. Its momentum shook the heavens and the earth. Su Yan, you lunatic! The creature hiding in the dark was really going crazy. The reincarnation fruit was about to ripen. Once Su Yan attracted too much heavenly tribulation, it was very likely that the fruit would be destroyed in a day. He had no choice but to take action. He shrunk the formation. The blood-colored world condensed together, enveloping the reincarnation fruit so that it wouldn't be damaged. After doing all this, the world was already oppressed to the extreme. Even the heavenly deities were panicking. They had to prostrate themselves on the ground and kowtow. They felt that only by doing this could they alleviate the oppressive atmosphere that was suffocating them to death. Finally, at this moment, the lightning struck down, one after another. The black lightning bolts were as thick as mountain ridges. The aura was terrifying as they crushed the void. Everything collapsed. This wasn't just a few bolts. There were over 1,000 bolts of black lightning striking down. It was as if over 1,000 black, evil dragons had drilled out of the great whirlpool, violently hacking at Su Yan. In the eyes of outsiders, they couldn't see anything. They only saw over 1,000 bolts of black lightning striking down to destroy all life. What a terrifying lightning tribulation. It's more than 10 times stronger than my heavenly tribulation. A genius was speechless. Can the reincarnation fruit withstand such a powerful lightning tribulation? It won't be destroyed, right? I can feel the power of reincarnation. The extremely oppressive atmosphere was targeted at Su Yan. Su Yan's pupils suddenly widened. He said coldly, "Perhaps I can comprehend the changes of reincarnation at the crucial moment of crossing the tribulation. I can steal a fragment of the great Tao of reincarnation and cultivate an unrivaled great Tao profound meaning." Do you think this is child's play? The creature hidden in the darkness was furious. This is the reincarnation divine punishment, one of the strongest heavenly tribulations in history. Not to mention you. Even the most outstanding Ingjie might not be able to safely cross this kind of heavenly tribulation. I'm unrivaled in the 9 heavens and 10 earths. Are you not convinced? If you are, then come and fight me. Su Yan's long black hair draped over his shoulders. His body was steaming with a blurry divine light as he spoke coldly. I want to see just how miserable your death will be. The creature hidden in the darkness was quite angry. He was worried that the reincarnation divine punishment would destroy the reincarnation fruit. After all, the two were the same substance. Once the divine punishment was too strong, even the reincarnation fruit could be absorbed and turned into a divine punishment to target Su Yan. Boom! The black lightning that filled the sky had already struck down. It represented a kind of reincarnation, a kind of terrifying time and age. The moment it pressed down, all living things were about to be stripped of their lives. Su Yan's aura aged at lightning speed, as if he was going to die of old age. Boom! Su Yan looked up to the sky and roared. He released a blurry divine aura and pierced through the sky. His aura instantly exploded to its peak. He stood in the golden age, standing in the unrivaled domain. He was like a giant monster hidden in the darkness that came out of seclusion. He stretched out his arms fiercely and tore apart the black lightning that filled the sky. Chapter 1063. A great crack appeared, one so deep that one couldn't see the bottom. Su Yan's arms moved, his divine strength shocking the world. He tore apart the black lightning that filled the skies. He was truly an unrivaled god of courage. However, this samsara divine punishment was extremely abnormal. The great crack that had just been torn apart instantly reformed. The thousands of black lightning bolts that fell down from the great vortex seemed to fuse into one, forming a world-destroying hurricane of darkness. A tide of darkness surged forth, covering everything as it wanted to obliterate all terrifying matter. Moreover, this aura was accompanied by the energy of samsara. It was accompanied by a strength that stripped away the life energy of all living beings. It wanted to pull out the vast life energy within Su Yan's body, stripping it clean. Roar. Beneath the abyss of darkness, Su Yin roared out loud. His combat strength erupted. The blurry body of a heavenly deity began to chant the great Tao heavenly scripture, fusing together into one. The strength of a heavenly deity shook out, forcefully creating a giant hole in the tide of darkness. Come, samsara divine punishment, help me on the road to becoming a heavenly deity. Su Yin soared into the skies, taking the initiative to face the great samsara tribulation. If this scene were known by the old antiques of every race, it was unknown what they would think. After all, this was the samsara divine punishment that was hailed as one of the strongest divine punishments in history. Once a powerhouse of the same generation encountered it, they would try to escape. But Su Yin directly faced it head-on. He wanted to pierce through the samsara divine punishment and shatter it to pieces. He even wanted to seize the samsara Tao fruit and cultivate his own secret technique. The massive body of the samsara divine punishment trembled. Su Yin was like a peerless heavenly deity that could move the world. He reversed his combat strength, his attacks causing the entire samsara divine punishment to tremble. It seemed as if it would be torn apart by his terrifying divine strength. Bang! At this moment, the revolving black vortex suddenly gushed out, a tide of darkness that caused all living beings to tremble in fear. The strength of the samsara divine punishment soared by a great deal. It was even accompanied by the pressure of the great Tao. This was definitely the legendary samsara great Tao. It appeared in the form of a samsara divine punishment, wanting to obliterate anyone who crossed tribulation. The pressure that filled the skies, blotting out the world. It was as if the oceans were being reversed, as if the heavens were being turned upside down. In short, everything became extremely terrifying. Su Yan's blood and energy were shaken to the point of face. His blood's throat. If you can't even pass the divine punishment, how can you talk about the path of kings? Su Yin let out an angry roar. His long hair fluttered in the wind. His eyes were sharp and overflowing. He had transformed and matured in battle. He was savagely devouring the energy of the lightning tribulation for his own use. Su Yin was devouring the power of lightning, speeding up his path to becoming a heavenly deity. During this entire process, he encountered countless bolts of lightning striking him. These bolts of lightning were imbued with the might of the samsara grand Tao, and they were capable of easily obliterating the body and soul of an expert. How can there be such a terrifying lightning tribulation? Everyone felt their scalps go numb. The intensity of the lightning tribulation was still increasing, and the momentum had already spread over 1,000,000 miles. Within the Great Crack, reincarnation light was released. This was a great murderous tribulation, accompanied by streaks of thick lightning that were pitch black like ink. They descended from the heavens, hacking towards the place where tens of thousands of mountains converged. Many people were worried that the reincarnation fruit would directly shatter. However, since the divine punishment was still ongoing, it meant that the reincarnation fruit was also extremely powerful. At the same time, the reincarnation universe's decline began to accelerate, and large cracks appeared in many regions. This meant that the universe was really reaching its limit. Perhaps the day the reincarnation fruit matured would be the day the reincarnation universe collapsed. Is the reincarnation divine punishment really a medicine undergoing tribulation? Zhu Tian frowned. Back then, when he was trying to break through to the heavenly deity realm, he had chosen to undergo tribulation in a universe secret realm occupied by the ancestral hall. This was an extremely terrifying divine punishment that wasn't inferior to the reincarnation divine punishment. However, now that the reincarnation divine punishment had appeared, it made Zhu Tian wonder if someone was undergoing tribulation. When I was undergoing tribulation, I attracted the true dragon Great Tribulation, Luo Tiandu said in a low voice. If Su Yin is really undergoing tribulation, he's really abnormal. What true dragon Great Tribulation? Tai Bao's eyes glowed with green light. Luo Tiandu didn't understand Tai Bao Kai. but he was full of respect for this young supreme of the demonic Tao who had slain the North Demon. He said, "My clan occupies a true dragon nest, which is a top-notch universe secret realm. It breeds the true dragon aura. When I underwent tribulation, I attracted the strongest response of the universe secret realm, and the true dragon Great Tribulation fell. Emperor Nen also survived this tribulation, but unfortunately, there's still a gap between me and Emperor Nan. I still need to work hard. Young people must work hard. Although I'm now the #1 beast god of the demon domain, I haven't seen a true dragon yet." Tai Baokai stretched out his large claw and patted Luo Tiandu's shoulder. He said, "Where's your clan's universe secret realm? We can go over and be guests later." Tensor scratched his head. A top-notch clan was indeed a top-notch clan. They were really rich. There was such a saying about undergoing tribulation. After all, during the process of undergoing tribulation, one could comprehend the heavenly might of a true dragon. Hence, Luo Tiandu had stepped into the heavenly deity realm, and his combat power had multiplied. Hence, he wanted to fight Emperor Nan to find out the gap between them. The divine punishment was still increasing in intensity. In the world of lightning and thunder, the atmosphere was extremely violent. Cracks appeared on tens of thousands of mountains. This tough place where the reincarnation elixir grew was almost unable to withstand the test of the reincarnation divine punishment. As for the source, it was Su Yin. Although he didn't show any signs of decline, his entire body was charred black. His skin was split open by the lightning, and the bones in his body were almost broken. However, his tattered body was seething with the light of thunder and lightning, and there was a faint fluctuation of the reincarnation Great Tao. There was no doubt that this was his gain. Any divine punishment was formed by the interweaving of the Great Tao of the universe. The longer he endured, the more Great Tao fragments he would obtain. Su Yin, you can't withstand it. This is just the beginning. Let's see how long you can last. Seeing Su Yan's miserable appearance, the creature guarding the reincarnation fruit sneered. "You want to undergo tribulation in the reincarnation universe? I have to say, you're courting death. Get out here." At the critical moment of the great battle, Su Yin was infuriated by these words. His golden pupils erupted with divine light as he gazed towards the place where the reincarnation elixir grew. "You bug, I advise you not to provoke me. Otherwise, you won't be able to see the complete reincarnation divine punishment." This creature replied coldly. It was quite calm. "You've angered me. I'm going to beat you up." Su Yin released an explosive roar. His blood-soaked body crossed the great earth and tore through the void. In an instant, he arrived at the place where the reincarnation elixir grew. "You're crazy. Get out of here." The creature hiding in the darkness was so angry it wanted to spit out blood. This was the place where the reincarnation elixir grew. Once it was destroyed, there would be nothing left. "Leave the reincarnation elixir to me. As for you, get out here." Su Yin released a long roar. His aura hid the sky and covered the earth. In reality, the reincarnation divine punishment following him was even more ferocious. In that instant, the entire blood-colored world was about to collapse. It was simply like plowing the ground, about to destroy everything. "Get out of here." A large hand with a terrifying aura stretched out from the condensed blood-colored space-time at lightning speed. It was surging with bloody light and filled with a vicious aura. The collapsed space exploded as it blasted toward Su Yan's chest. "I knew it. You're from the dark underworld race." Su Yan had finally confirmed his guess. His entire body was emitting flames of fury as he allowed the reincarnation divine punishment to attack him. His fist blossomed with golden light as it violently smashed forward with a whoosh. It collided with a large blood-colored hand. Boom! A muffled explosion rang out, almost suppressing the reincarnation divine punishment. This was a terrifying enemy who had been hiding in the dark for a long time in the corpse blood sea. No one knew what his identity and status was in the dark underworld race. His battle prowess was extraordinary. A casual palm strike from him was definitely not inferior to Zhu Tian's. In fact, It even seemed to surpass him. I'll blow you up with one punch. Su Yan's pupils turned vertical. His battle prowess surged as if he wanted to split the sky. His entire body rushed into the condensed blood-colored space-time. His words made the blood-colored entity so angry that it almost fainted. It wasn't afraid of Su Yan, but the reincarnation divine punishment also surged over in large batches. It caused the entire blood-colored space-time to tremble. Moreover, a fist with a terrifying aura blasted over and locked onto its corporeal body. Bastard! The blood-colored entity was completely born. It was a fiend god with a head full of blood-colored hair that danced in the wind. His face was as sharp as a knife, and his body was filled with a terrifying corpse aura. When he awakened, his aura soared wildly. He was simply an unrivaled king of the world. His roar caused the tens of thousands of blood-stained mountains to tremble as if they were about to explode. Su Yan was astonished. He was too strong. This was the strongest enemy Su Yan had encountered since his debut. He didn't know if the Berserk Zhu Tian could reach this level. In short, Su Yan couldn't fight against him in his current state. He could only revive the energy of the human-shaped puppet and let his fists burn brightly as they collided with the blood-colored entity's fist. The two experts fought and clashed in the reincarnation divine punishment. In just a few short collisions, Su Yan's corporeal body was about to shatter completely. His corporeal body was about to fall apart. That was because he had to endure the destruction of the reincarnation divine punishment. Su Yan let out an explosive roar. He still didn't care about the reincarnation divine punishment. The terrifying power of the divine punishment had already attacked the blood-colored entity, causing its terrifying corporeal body to tremble. Its aura showed signs of rapidly deteriorating. Ha ha! Su Yan laughed angrily. I don't care how long you've lived, but you're afraid of time, afraid of the passage of time. Damn it! The blood-colored entity was furious to the extreme. This was its flaw. It had lived for too long and had a fear of time and time. That was why it needed the reincarnation fruit to make up for its flaw. You lunatic! Following that, the blood-colored entity went into a frenzy. Su Yan endured the danger of his corporeal body exploding and pounced over again. He pulled tens of thousands of black lightning bolts to destroy himself. Do you think I can't kill you? The blood-colored entity roared angrily. Corpse chi surged all over its body. It was like a blood-colored mad demon. Its corporeal body was simply unbreakable. Su Yan's fists only caused sparks to fly when they landed on its body. It was simply unable to destroy its corporeal body. Su Yan's expression changed and turned pale. Just how strong was this fellow? He didn't have time to think too much at the moment. He did his best to trigger the reincarnation divine punishment to fight against it, because once the divine punishment ended, he would be attacked by a peerless enemy. Sure enough, every time he was struck by the reincarnation divine punishment, his aura would decline a bit. This made the blood-colored entity anxious. It simply didn't think Su Yan would be so crazy, wanting to destroy both jade and common stone with it. Su Yan let out a painful roar. He really couldn't hold on any longer. His corporeal body was in tatters, and his bones were starting to break. His entire body was about to be crushed into pieces by the reincarnation divine punishment. At this critical juncture, a terrifying amount of potential gushed out from his body. This was the new potential that Su Yan had brought about by perfecting his heavenly deity's path. It caused his corporeal body to burn, and with every breath his injuries improved a lot. Moreover, because he had instantly refined the energy of the reincarnation lightning, his corporeal body regained its lost true self, causing the most powerful immortal treasure in his body to finally awaken. Suddenly, the blood-colored entity saw Su Yan emitting the light of myriad calamity. He stood at the core like a supreme god. Myriad calamity body. The blood-colored entity's expression changed as it lost control and said, "No, this isn't the myriad calamity body. This is the myriad world body. How is this possible? How can you have such a body?" He felt incredulous. Could it be that he really didn't belong to this era? Announcing a reader group for the Way of the Emperor. Welcome to 743382394. Chapter 1064. Su Yan's path to becoming an enlightened master was further perfected. As he breathed in and out, his tattered body glowed, and his wounds healed. Even the deteriorating essence and blood in his body began to strengthen. The process was very fast. Su Yan's body was beating like a heavenly drum, and his entire body was surging with divine power. His foundation was already immeasurable and astonishing, and he had stayed at the peak of the God-Spirit realm for a long time. The divine power stored in his body was finally fully released at this moment. Finally, under the suppression of the vast thunder and lightning, Su Yan's aura skyrocketed. Boom! Su Yan's body surged with a terrifying enlightened master's aura, forcibly opening a corner of the reincarnation divine punishment. His aura was terrifying. His injuries had healed by more than half, and his deteriorating essence and blood had recovered to its peak. Even when the Initiation Sutra was operating, his entire body was like a furnace of the great Tao, forcibly refining the energy of the reincarnation divine punishment in his body. The pure power of reincarnation ran through his body, urging Su Yan's physique to release its terrifying potential. Under the stimulation of the reincarnation energy, the immortal treasure that he had been unable to touch finally seemed to return to prehistory, crossing thousands of eras with the pressure of the long river of time. Ah! Su Yan looked up to the sky and roared. His precious body surged with the terrifying power of the immortal treasure, and his pores spewed out the light of myriad calamities. Under the stimulation of the Initiation Sutra, the light of myriad calamities was magnificent and vast, like the release of a condensed universe. The scene was a little blurry, a little mysterious, and extremely majestic. The moment the myriad calamities moved slowly, it was as if they had crossed thousands of eras and arrived in this era. For a moment, the crushing reincarnation divine punishment collapsed, and the sun and moon were forever silent. Even these tens of thousands of huge mountains that were densely covered in large cracks exploded in an instant. The sky was filled with earth and rocks, and smoke and dust were swirling. The world was in chaos, and all of this originated from a figure, like the supreme God of heaven and earth, overlooking the common people. At this moment, Su Yan finally understood that his physique not only required the most fundamental evolution of the physical body, but also the stimulation of the myriad Tao's power to completely open the ultimate immortal treasure hidden in the human body. In the past, when Big Brother Prehistoric imparted the body-nurturing technique to Su Yan had asked if it could perfect his physique. Of course, this was very difficult. In the end, Su Yan attracted the samsara divine punishment in the samsara universe, stimulating his physique to release its ultimate potential. This made Su Yan feel as if he had turned into the heavenly king of the myriad worlds, returning from his slumber. Myriad worlds body. The crimson creature's uncontrollable voice made Su Yan think to himself that his constitution was not the eternity body, but a type of eternity body. It was rumored that the myriad tribulation body was extremely difficult to cultivate. Because their bodies were naturally filled with the aura of calamity, they were plagued by calamities. In the beginning, Su Yan felt that his physique might be the myriad tribulation physique. It was extremely difficult for him to open up the divine energy, immortal treasure that he should have and restore his physique to the level of a supreme physique. Now, the crimson creature was saying that Su Yan's body type was a myriad world's body. This made Su Yan a little confused. What kind of physique was this? He had never heard of it before, but Su Yan could feel how terrifying and abnormal this physique was. It had even destroyed the samsara divine punishment. So what if it's the myriad world's body? The crimson creature roared. This is a physique that does not belong to this era. The universe's environment has changed. It has changed. We can never go back. The era of the myriad world body has come to an end. Even if he activates the divine energy of the myriad world's body, He will not be able to excavate all the immortal treasures of the myriad world's body. It was right. Su Yan's physique had released its super strong potential, but compared to the legendary myriad world's body, there was a huge gap. The universe's environment had changed. It no longer belonged to the growth of the myriad world's body. If it were not for the energy of the samsara universe, Su Yan would not be able to activate the myriad world's body. If he really wanted to continue perfecting the myriad world's body, he had to find many legendary substances. This was very difficult, but there was also hope. Swoosh! Su Yan's figure suddenly disappeared from where he stood. When he reappeared, the crimson creature roared angrily. The extremely ferocious corpse chi in its body was released. Vaguely, it revealed a terrifying and boundless bloodline energy. This was an extremely terrifying fluctuation, as if the source of immortality was surging. The descendant of a taboo. Su Yan's eyes widened in anger. The Dark Nether clan did have a taboo, and he was the descendant of a taboo. Su Yan could feel a terrifying immortal divine might from his bloodline. Could it be that the mysterious giant sleeping in the depths of the Carrion Blood Sea was the taboo of this race? I have to get rid of it. Su Yan roared. The samsara divine punishment could no longer threaten Su Yan. Su Yan swept over with boundless black lightning and used his great magic to attack the crimson creature. Su Yan seemed to want to get rid of this big problem, but the crimson creature also wanted to get rid of Su Yan. Boom! When its aura was released to the extreme, a blurry figure appeared behind it. It was like a ruler of the universe. A pair of cold eyes opened, as if an unparalleled demon king had awoken from slumber. Kill! The crimson creature coldly shouted and moved along with the blurry figure behind it. In an instant, the heaven and earth rumbled, and the sun and moon lost their light. The peerless power emitted suppressed the samsara divine punishment and caused it to explode. No one knew that a terrifying battle had erupted here. This battle was enough to stun the ages. This was also the strongest enemy Su Yan had encountered since his debut. When the two experts clashed together, it was as if a golden ocean and a boundless sea of blood had bombarded each other, giving birth to a great crack that caused the void to collapse. Boom! The two fists collided. Bloody light blossomed from the first exchange. Su Yan's body was stained with blood. He was wounded from the first exchange. His pores spurted out dense bloody light. Su Yan could feel the heaven-defying power of the crimson creature. It was just as it said. It had risen and fallen from one generation to the next. There were not many young powerhouses that could make it take action. Kill! Su Yan roared angrily. His head of blood-dyed hair danced about as his terrifying constitution was released. Blurry light of myriad worlds gushed out, containing the heavenly might of a king. He spared no effort to push the surging energy forward, making the crimson creature's body tremble. However, the crimson creature's body was unstoppable. It was as if it was forged from divine iron and difficult to destroy. Moreover, its bloodline power burned, and a surging ominous demonic aura surged. Under the suppression of the blurry light of myriad worlds, it released a peerless fighting strength and counterattacked, making the domain released by Su Yan's body unstable. I'm going to cut you down and pave my path to the heavenly deity realm. Su Yan became more and more courageous as he fought. He stood on the great wilderness with the dome of heaven above his head. With the primal chaos as the foundation and all living things as the source, he opened up the world and recreated the universe. At this moment, Su Yan's future king domain flourished greatly. It was as if an indistinct universe was being born. It emitted a type of unrivaled power that could not be changed. It could suppress all enemies. Kill! Su Yan roared, and his fighting strength instantly went berserk. In the face of Su Yan's earth-shattering fighting strength, the crimson creature's aura also began to change. It turned into a three-headed, six-armed crimson demon god with a ferocious aura surging. Its 6 arms evolved into a powerful seal, and its 3 heads roared toward the sky. Boom! A peerless battle was born. Energy fluctuations surged out and swept through all directions. The onlookers in the distant world all had a kind of flustered state of mind. They looked at the continuously collapsing reincarnation punishment. They did not know what was happening inside, but they could sense two terrifying divine powers constantly colliding. These energy ripples were vast and mighty, destroying the mountains and valleys. There were terrifying universe cracks everywhere. The world was being destroyed. The area within hundreds of thousands of miles was like a shattered mirror. It was really heading toward extinction. Emperor Nan and the others had solemn expressions. They seemed to feel that under the reincarnation punishment, there was a fierce battle. Two great powerhouses had launched a bloody collision. Unfortunately, they could not see the truth. Reincarnation punishment was still surging violently, constantly pouring down black lightning that filled the sky. They could not clearly see what was happening, but they could sense that two types of invincible fighting strength were awakening. They were colliding and fighting, and vast energy ripples were surging out. I seem to smell a kind of fragrance. It's spreading for hundreds of thousands of miles. Could it be that the reincarnation fruits have ripened? Countless people trembled in fear. There were also some who were restless. But the reincarnation punishment had not yet ended. No one dared to rashly approach. The two great powerhouses were fighting with their lives on the line. They were locked in a fierce battle, causing space to collapse and countless universe cracks to appear. Finally, when the 6 reincarnation fruits recovered and surged with the resounding sound of reincarnation, the 3-headed, 6-armed crimson creature roared. Its 6 arms swayed and tore through the sky. It stepped forward to pluck the reincarnation fruits. You won't be able to escape. Su Yan's eyes were like cold lightning. His moves were large and powerful as he pressed forward. Every move and stance released a peerless fighting strength capable of shocking all king-level experts. He cut off the crimson creature's path and obstructed it. He was well aware that once this crimson creature swallowed the reincarnation fruits and made up for the flaws in his cultivation, his fighting strength would increase explosively once more. At that time, Su Yan would have no confidence in stopping him. "Bastard, do you want to die?" The crimson creature roared angrily. His eyes were filled with malevolence. He was aiming for the reincarnation fruits because they were very important to him. But Su Yan had been obstructing him all this time. This made the crimson creature furious. If not for the experts of the various races covetously eyeing this damaged universe, he wouldn't be in such a hurry to pluck the reincarnation fruits. "The one who will die is you," Su Yan replied coldly. "If you want to die, I'll fulfill your wish." The crimson creature had been forced to the extreme. If this continued, no one would be able to win. His crimson body was vaguely emitting a resplendent light. It was as if a concentrated immortal aura was being released. A fluctuation that made the world tremble emerged. At this moment, the crimson creature was extremely terrifying. The figure that appeared behind him was blazing brilliantly, as if it had been revived amidst the phenomena. It was like a vague, true immortal that was emitting a terrifying immortal aura. As this aura appeared, the entire reincarnation heavenly punishment seemed to have lost control and was on the verge of exploding. A forbidden secret technique? Su Yan's pupils suddenly shrank. This secret technique gave Su Yan a feeling of fatal danger. This was a world-shaking, great divine ability evolved from the power of the crimson creature's bloodline. It hadn't even been released, yet it had already collapsed space and time. The sky was filled with a rain of space-time light. It was as if a forbidden existence was awakening here. Su Yan turned pale with fright. Of course, it wasn't because of the crimson creature's supreme secret technique, but because the reincarnation maelstrom had changed. Golden light appeared, and it was exceptionally eye-catching in the darkness. The black maelstrom that covered thousands of miles was curled up with golden divine light. It was as if there were special golden symbols that were faintly discernible within the maelstrom. Moreover, the entire black maelstrom spun crazily. The aura was fusing together, and it was about to turn into a giant black wheel. Reincarnation wheel. The crimson creature was frightened. It immediately split open space and fled. This was because this was the legendary reincarnation lineage's most powerful divine ability, the reincarnation wheel. It could also be called one of the 9 most powerful divine abilities in history, the reincarnation secret technique. Chapter 1065. The entire reincarnation universe began to tremble violently. The heavens and earth were shaking, and all life seemed to be suffering. It was as if the end of the universe had arrived. The entire broken universe rapidly dimmed, and there was a sign of it turning into nothingness and heading towards death. The reincarnation universe is disappearing. The expressions of the great figures in the outside world changed. Anyone could see that the reincarnation universe was rapidly weakening and dimming. There were signs of it dispersing from the world and completely disappearing. This made the experts both surprised and delighted. They were surprised because once the reincarnation universe disappeared, the struggle for the reincarnation fruits would become a game between the various races. Only heaven knew what kind of desperate struggle would erupt. The death of a supreme expert was no longer a big deal. It would definitely set off a bloody struggle between the races. There were also some who were delighted. The experts of the sealing heaven domain were grinning from ear to ear. They seemed to have forgotten that the supreme expert Boyan was here. Once the reincarnation universe collapsed, he would immediately take action. Especially now, the reincarnation universe was declining too quickly and would soon vanish into thin air. Look! Many people cried out in alarm. The entire universe seemed to be in turmoil. Countless energy sources began to flow in reverse in a certain direction. During this process, the crushed world was trembling. The remaining energy essence of the reincarnation universe surged toward the land of reincarnation divine punishment. Heavens, the reincarnation divine punishment is still strengthening. Could the reincarnation fruits be so heaven-defying that they will attract the universe's heavenly punishment? Can the reincarnation fruits withstand this? Only heaven knows how heaven-defying this supreme divine medicine is. The divine punishment it attracts is too abnormal. Is it going to absorb all the energy essence of the declining universe? The experts discussed. They found it hard to believe the changes in the distant world. This was a massive amount of reincarnation energy. It covered the sky and covered the earth as it surged over and penetrated the jet-black vortex. When the source of the lightning tribulation surged with terrifying reincarnation tribulation light, everyone present felt their hair stand on end. Even someone as strong as Zhu Tian was terrified. He said with a trembling voice, "This is a great reincarnation divine ability. It appears in the form of divine punishment. It can be called heavenly punishment." Heavenly punishment. These words caused a huge commotion. What was heavenly punishment? Something that could trigger the universe's laws to annihilate was heavenly punishment. Now, heavenly punishment was born in the reincarnation universe. Everyone was in disbelief. How could the reincarnation fruit be so heaven-defying? It would draw down heavenly punishment and bring about the destruction of the cosmos. Wasn't this a bit illogical? After all, the reincarnation fruit was born in the reincarnation universe. How could the heavenly punishment be born? Some people felt that something unpredictable had happened, but the heavenly punishment had already been born. Who would dare to pick the samsara fruit now? Even Boyan, who was ready to cause trouble in the outside world, stopped. If he made a move at this juncture and angered the heavenly punishment, the reincarnation universe would release the remaining laws against him. Although the reincarnation universe had deteriorated to such a level, even if it had deteriorated to the extreme, it was not a problem for it to unleash the remaining energy to kill an almighty expert. "This is bad." Yuan was shocked and said, "Bao Kai, use the banners of demons. Can you break through the divine punishment and escape?" "That's right, Bao Kai. We still need your help at the critical moment." Tensor also spoke, but the two of them did not receive a reply. They turned their heads and saw Tai Baotsai's face fall. His face was dark, and he did not know what to say. At this moment, Tai Baokai was drowsy. His panda eyes were fighting as he tried to open his eyes. However, he was too weak. His panda eyes were becoming darker and darker. His large tongue was drooping as he panted heavily. Tai Baokai had consumed too much energy. He had used up all his strength in the battle with the North Demon. Now, Tai Baokai could not hold on any longer. He was drowsy and exhausted. Moreover, his internal injuries were serious. Look, someone cried out in alarm. It was as if they were seeing the scene of all souls being destroyed. A magnificent black heavenly disk was born. Golden symbols rose from it, and it was filled with a supreme reincarnation will. It suppressed all the gods and made them tremble. The black heavenly disk was indeed a bit blurry and unreal. However, its aura was too grand. It was like the reincarnation heavenly disk that had slumbered for millions and millions of years. It emitted an energy that suppressed the long river of time. Boundless reincarnation light scattered down. When the mysterious light touched Su Yin, it was as if it was suppressed by the endless reincarnation. It was difficult to move. Not good. Su Yin released a low roar. His body and soul were about to be destroyed in a single exchange. His life was about to decline. No wonder the blood-colored entity fled, not even caring about the reincarnation fruit, because it also wanted to escape. This reincarnation heavenly disk was too powerful. It was a great killing technique of the reincarnation universe. The reincarnation light that gushed down illuminated Su Yin until his body and soul were about to be destroyed. However, if the blood-colored entity encountered it, he who was originally apprehensive of time feared that the blood-colored entity would immediately fall in a single exchange. Now, Su Yan's appearance was extremely old. His head of hair was snow white. He was like an old man past his prime. His life was about to reach its end. The blood and energy in his body had also declined to the extreme. He could die at any moment. This was the terror of reincarnation. It couldn't be touched. Su Yin was enduring the trial of reincarnation. He was really going to die. He was going to die of old age here. I won't die. Su Yin released an angry roar. This old man, past his prime, was still full of fighting spirit. He raised his head to look at the reincarnation heavenly punishment and shouted, "No matter how strong you are still a Tao and a law. I, Su Yin, have moved unhindered through the universe for dozens of years. I am in control of 10,000 Taos. My body is supreme. I am the god of heaven and earth. I am unaffected by the universe's great Tao. You cannot kill me." His head of white hair danced in the wind. He was already past his prime and was about to die of old age. However, Su Yin wasn't willing to admit defeat. He wanted to fight to the end. However, this incomprehensible reincarnation tribulation light pressed down on Su Yan's body. It caused his blood and bones to age and his bodily functions to rapidly decline. His path to becoming a heavenly deity was about to be cut short because of this. Only Su Yan's golden pupils emitted a divine light that overflowed into the sky. They were still filled with the strongest spirit and fighting spirit. He looked at the reincarnation heavenly wheel. He had encountered it before. He had tried to decipher it and obtain its Tao and law. Now he was facing it head-on. Su Yin was enduring the trial of the reincarnation heavenly wheel. His aging body could still emit the fighting strength of his prime. Once reincarnation appeared, the human body would decline. However, this wasn't true aging. Instead, under the influence of a Tao and law, he was releasing his strongest power to continue perfecting his path to becoming a heavenly deity. His aging body resonated and radiated the aura of a heavenly deity. He was like a seed buried in the primordial chaos. It took root and sprouted, turning into a huge tree. This tree was a little old, but his spirit and fighting spirit were still there. Su Yin didn't despair. He evolved his strongest Tao and law. His entire body was like a condensed small universe, glowing and emitting heat. However, the reincarnation tribulation light was too strong. It crushed Su Yin until he trembled. His powerful aura was starting to dim. He really felt that he was going to die. He felt that he was being suppressed by time and was being killed by time. Wong. At the moment of despair, A beam of light surged from Su Yan's body. It was like a condensed little golden person. He sat cross-legged in time and chanted the sound of the great Tao. He stretched his body in time and was actually bathing in the reincarnation light. He used reincarnation as nourishment. He was absorbing the great Tao of reincarnation and listening to the Tao sound of reincarnation. What was this? This was Su Yan's innate divine ability. He hadn't used it for many years. He called it the Fist of Time. Now, the Fist of Time awakened on its own. It glowed and emitted heat. It sat cross-legged in Su Yan's chest, causing Su Yan's chest to rise and fall violently. It was like a tsunami rumbling as it devoured the reincarnation tribulation light. Kill! Su Yan, who was past his prime, roared. He circulated the initial sutra to resist the reincarnation tribulation light. One had to admit that the current Su Yan was too strong. He wasn't a true deity of heaven and earth yet, but he was emitting a peerless foundation. In the process of resisting the reincarnation tribulation light, his body's functions were ignited. He was endowed with the aura of life and the overflowing charm of the great Tao. He was walking towards youth. However, the strongest heavenly punishment born in the reincarnation universe continuously attacked Su Yan. He was walking towards old age in his youth. It was as if he had been slashed by time. His aura was greatly damaged, and his appearance was once again that of old age. No one saw this terrifying scene. This was Su Yan's calamity. He could easily decline and die. Su Yan walked towards old age again and again. However, there were times when he used his strongest power to support the domain and recover to his golden age. This happened 9 times in a row, exhausting all of Su Yan's foundation. Su Yan, who fought against heaven and earth, was a little frightened at this moment. The heavenly samsara disk was still there. It looked like it wouldn't give up until it destroyed him. If it really came again, Su Yan would find it difficult to withstand. Even under the suppression of the heavenly samsara disk, Su Yan couldn't have time to break through. Suddenly, a strange fragrance of flowers appeared. Su Yan breathed hard. His aging body glowed, and he almost recovered to his youth. Okay. Su Yan was moved. His golden eyes stared at the reincarnation fruits. He had really matured. The 6 fruits seemed to have turned into 6 black figures with different postures. As the 6 fruits spat, 6 divine sounds blasted and combined to form the sound of the 6 paths of reincarnation. This extremely complicated sound of the great Tao explained the mysteries of reincarnation. The 6 fruits seemed to be one. The sound of reincarnation penetrated Su Yan's ears and exploded. The reincarnation fruits carried the great Tao of reincarnation. They spread out in front of Su Yan's eyes. This was a great opportunity that people dreamed of. At this moment, Su Yan witnessed the ultimate evolution of the reincarnation fruits during their growth process. The 6 great Taos merged and were filled with the aura of opening the 6 paths of reincarnation. The figure sitting cross-legged on his chest suddenly became extremely bright. It seemed to have divided into 6 figures, each corresponding to the 6 fruits. They were shining and emitting a vague but grand sound of reincarnation. Su Yan was pleasantly surprised. The body-nurturing technique was awakened, and he wanted to steal the origin energy of the 6 fruits. However, Su Yan found that the body-nurturing technique's ability was somewhat insufficient. This meant that the reincarnation fruits were too powerful and difficult to steal. The second level of the body-nurturing technique. At this moment, a great Tao diagram appeared in Su Yan's mind. This Tao diagram seemed to carry the universe and emitted the mysteries of the universe. It was as if Su Yan was looking at a prehistoric big brother sitting cross-legged within the 4 poles of the universe. As he breathed in and out, the entire universe trembled. Boundless divine power penetrated his body. The devouring power was unimaginable. Chapter 1066. How powerful! Su Yan sucked in a cold breath. The second level of the body-nurturing art was too powerful. It was much stronger than the first level. If the first level was to steal the power of the origins of famous mountains and lands. Then the second level was to plunder. It was to plunder the essence of the universe's four poles and penetrate one's body. Just as Su Yin was immersed in the second level of the body-nurturing art, the samsara wheel's radiance caused Su Yan's body to tremble. He was sent flying as blood spurted out from his body. Su Yin cried out in pain, but he still turned over and got up. His messy hair danced in the wind, and his pair of golden eyes were extremely sharp. It's just heavenly punishment. It's just an inanimate object. You can't kill me. Su Yin clenched his fists as his chest heaved. The golden avatar circulated the vague power of the samsara great Tao and forcefully resisted Su Yan's aging body. He stabilized the chaotic blood essence fluctuations in his body as the second level of the body nurturing art flashed in his consciousness. This was a mystic art that the prehistoric Big Brother had imparted to Su Yin. As long as he had the ability to learn it, his cultivation speed would be very abnormal. However, Su Yin was also heavily injured in the process. He crawled up from the pool of blood again and again, becoming more courageous as he fought. Finally, Su Yin looked up to the sky and inhaled. This inhalation was like a whale sucking in water. The vast divine might of heaven and earth penetrated his body, causing Su Yan's aura to reach its peak. His long robes fluttered as his blood-stained hair danced. His eyes looked at the six fruits that were emitting the light of the six paths of reincarnation. His eyes flashed with a blazing light. "Steal from me," Su Yin shouted as he released the second level of the body-nurturing art. It was filled with the power to steal the fortune of heaven and earth. Whoa! At this moment, Su Yan's innate ability awakened. It emitted a terrifying power that caused the six samsara fruits to rumble. They had already ripened. Now, in the second level of the body-nurturing art, Su Yin had taken away one of the six fruits' origin energy. A total of 6 origin energies were filled with the power of the 6 paths of reincarnation. They released the great Tao's heavenly melody as they rushed out. The value of the 6-tier material was unimaginable. It was a substance that could make even mighty figures go crazy. Now, the 6 paths of reincarnation directly pierced through his chest, nourishing the tiny golden person within. For a moment, the tiny golden person shone brilliantly. Su Yan's chest was translucent, releasing a thick golden divine radiance that tore apart the void, wishing to see the everlasting break through reincarnation time and space. This little person revived on its own. With a loud roar, it opened up the 6 paths of reincarnation, wanting to dominate the great Tao of reincarnation. Ha ha ha! Su Yin looked up to the sky and laughed. Once his intrinsic divine ability completed its transformation, he would be able to grasp the great Tao of reincarnation. At this moment, Su Yin finally understood that obtaining a single reincarnation fruit was nothing. Only by directly obtaining 6 reincarnation fruits and combining them together could he obtain a true reincarnation pill. There is only one reincarnation elixir, not 6. Of course, Su Yin was also a little confused. Could it be that the reincarnation fruit hadn't fully matured yet? 6 reincarnation fruits had to be gathered together to form the reincarnation pill. Legend had it that the reincarnation fruit couldn't be eaten carelessly as it could easily lead to death. Then, could it be that they had to be combined together to be consumed? But no matter what, Su Yin had already stolen the 6th-level chi of origin and obtained a part of the reincarnation fruit's effects. He could grasp the great Tao of reincarnation, a great Tao that everyone dreamed of. Once he grasped the great Tao of reincarnation, it was hard to imagine what kind of power he could control. Boom! In an instant, the gigantic reincarnation wheel that occupied the top of the sky once again scattered down the boundless light of reincarnation, radiating towards Su Yin. This time, it was even more terrifying and abnormal than the last time. Great reincarnation tribulation. Su Yan's eyes blazed as he roared in anger. Today, even if I don't grasp the great Tao of reincarnation, I still have a way to destroy you. You're just a Tao and technique of the divine punishment. just a divine ability. You want to kill me? Impossible. Dong. Su Yin stepped on the desolate land, the sky above his head, turning into a god of heaven and earth, with chaos as the root and myriad Tao as the source. He reignited and opened the door to the heaven-defying path of heaven deity. As he breathed, divine energy filled the sky and entered his body. What a joke! This was the body-nurturing technique that even the prehistoric Big Brother valued. As Su Yin breathed, the light of the sun, moon, and stars all over the sky rolled down and gathered in his body. Even the boundless origin of the earth was included and forcefully swallowed into his body. Of course, this was not what Su Yin was relying on. No matter how much energy he absorbed now, he could not resist the light of reincarnation tribulation. Sun, moon, rivers, and mountains painting. Su Yin waved his sleeve, and a supreme treasure embryo was summoned by him. The sun, moon, rivers, and mountains painting was a supreme treasure embryo that the Han family's ancestors had spent a long time collecting the essence of millions of mountains and the divine essence of the sun and moon in the heavens. In the future, it had the hope of evolving into a mighty divine weapon. Now that Su Yin had summoned the sun, moon, rivers, and mountains painting, he was determined to use the power of this treasure to break through to the heaven deity realm. The god of heaven and earth that he had evolved into was more difficult than expected. Now, Su Yin stood in the center of the sun, moon, rivers, and mountains painting, like a king that controlled the universe. As he breathed, the vast power of the sun, moon, rivers, and mountains painting penetrated into Su Yin's world. In the face of such majestic divine energy, who could withstand it? Even a mighty figure would find it difficult to swallow it in a short time. However, Su Yin was now a grandmaster of the mystical arts, controlling the momentum of heaven and earth. He also had the body-nurturing technique to complement it. Now, as he swallowed, it was as if he had swallowed a sea of stars and refined giant mountains. Endless divine energy penetrated Su Yin's body, giving him a peerless foundation. Roar! He let out a loud roar toward the sky, swallowing rivers and mountains, his aura soaring to the heavens. Rumble! A grand aura tore through heaven and earth, opening up a new world. Su Yin's essence, energy, and spirit were ferocious to the extreme. As he breathed, the sun and moon lost their light, the mountains and rivers rumbled, and the great Tao of heaven and earth collapsed. At the same time, this was accompanied by a shocking aura of a heaven deity, awakening and reviving. The reincarnation light of calamity that filled the sky was forcefully shattered by Su Yin's unstoppable force. That terrifying divine power pressed against the peak of the sky. Blood essence surged, shaking the reincarnation wheel until it shook slightly. This was too tyrannical. Su Yin was the great Tao heavenly furnace that was unsealed. He swallowed the endless essence of the sun, moon, rivers, and mountains painting, perfecting his path as the god of heaven and earth. When he released it to the extreme, the world exploded. The black lightning that filled the sky collapsed. There was an indescribable aura awakening, blasting a large hole in the sea of lightning. Unbelievable. What happened? Did the reincarnation fruit survive the heavenly punishment? The onlookers were all frightened. They saw the great reincarnation tribulation tremble, releasing an aura that surged with great momentum. It struck the black samsara wheel until it trembled, becoming somewhat illusory and indistinct, as if it would return to nothingness. I hear the sound of the Tao. It seems to be describing reincarnation. It seems like reincarnation has really matured. I am fortunate enough to witness the true appearance of the legendary supreme divine medicine. This can be considered one of the most powerful good fortunes to be unearthed since the chaos ruins were opened. It will inevitably cause all the powerhouses of the world to go crazy. An old powerhouse revealed a look of wild joy. He had caught the direction of the source. The heavenly sound of the great Tao that shook the soul surged out. This was the sound of the great Tao that erupted as Su Yan's chest rose and fell. The little golden person sitting in the center divided into 6, evolving the shape of the reincarnation fruit. The 6 little people seemed to represent the 6 paths. They chanted sutras at the same time, emitting the unsurpassed, profound mysteries of the 6 paths of reincarnation. Su Yan's chest rose and fell. The sound of the great Tao rumbled. This great Tao was finally born. This was the strength of reincarnation. It was difficult to describe, but Su Yan had truly grasped it. His mind was surging. This was an unrivaled secret technique. Although it wasn't the strongest reincarnation secret technique in history, Su Yan had grasped the unsurpassed great Tao of reincarnation. Once this innate secret technique was used, it would definitely be a great supernatural ability that could shock the heavens and make ghosts and gods weep. The calamity is dissipating. Reincarnation has really matured. Without the suppression of the thunder tribulation, the sound of reincarnation is becoming clearer and clearer. Many people excitedly discussed. No one knew that this was the sound of the great Tao that came from Su Yan's chest. As for the reincarnation fruit, Su Yan hadn't picked it yet. However, he had completely overturned the source of the origin formation. In the past, no one had taken the reincarnation fruit away. But Su Yan was different. He grasped the profound mysteries of reincarnation and directly cut off this place. This was because Su Yan didn't know whether the reincarnation fruit should be picked or whether it was completely mature. If he could meet the prehistoric Big Brother, then this problem would be left to him. The land that was cut off by Su Yan was directly stored into his void bag. Su Yan was satisfied. Finally, his eyes emitted the might of a heavenly god. After accumulating to the limit, he began to break through and stepped into the heavenly god realm. Even because of the sun, moon, rivers, and mountains painting, Su Yan's aura soared like lightning to the peak of the 4th heavenly god realm. This great reincarnation calamity finally dissipated. Su Yan felt regretful because what he wanted the most was the construction technique of the heavenly reincarnation disc. Unfortunately, he wasn't strong enough and couldn't suppress the heavenly reincarnation disc. Could it be that the strongest reincarnation technique in history was going to be ruined in his hands? Have to be content. Su Yan let out a brilliant smile. The harvest was already great, seizing an opportunity that even a major power couldn't obtain. I'm already a peak 4th heavenly god realm. This realm, I've finally reached it. Su Yan laughed happily, thinking of many things. Several decades of bloodshed had passed. One step after another, Su Yan finally stepped into the heavenly god realm on this day. Powerhouse, this is just the beginning. Su Yan's eyes were sharp. He was very clear that the future path was still very long. There were still many challenges waiting for him. At this moment, the lightning tribulation slowly dissipated, revealing a world full of devastation. A gloomy world lacking vitality. This universe was about to die. Su Yan could feel it. He grasped the great Tao of reincarnation and had a clear understanding of the state of this universe. Su Yan sighed. Even the universe would die. Why would cultivators? Would the taboo not die? No one knew the answer. Where did the reincarnation fruit go? When the lightning tribulation dissipated, the sound of reincarnation disappeared. A large number of cultivators rushed over, forming a dark mass. They didn't find the reincarnation fruit, but many people saw a figure in tattered clothes. He looked very down and dirty, almost indistinguishable. Su Xianren is still alive. Many people exclaimed, but there was also a group of people who were frightened. What's there to be afraid of? Su Xianren can't hold on anymore. The reincarnation fruit was definitely stolen by him. There were also people who revealed killing intent. Many people couldn't control themselves and rushed up, wanting to ask about the reincarnation fruit's whereabouts. Chapter 1067. The matter of the reincarnation fruit had already spread out and alarmed the entire chaotic ruins. Although there were few records of the legendary supreme divine medicine, according to legend, the fruit could allow one to live another life. Even the most powerful experts were no exception. Moreover, once obtained, one would be able to comprehend the great Tao of reincarnation. Who wouldn't be jealous of such a treasure? Now, it was very likely that Su Yan had obtained it. This caused all the experts to be envious. In this devastated world, murderous intents rippled and rolled over. The world began to become restless. Many powerful cultivators leaked their auras and created a magnificent scene of divine light shooting into the heavens. However, although Su Yan seemed to be seriously injured, many people didn't dare to act blindly without thinking. What was Su Xianren's background? He had a forbidden backer and even cut off the head of the heaven-suppressing battle god with a single slash. Such ferocious might truly made them bold. Even if Su Yan really took away the reincarnation fruit, the number of experts who dared to make a move was absolutely limited. The miserable state of the sealing heaven region was still vivid in everyone's mind. The tragic deaths of 5 powerful experts had alarmed all the peak races. There were truly few powers who dared to make things difficult for Su Yan. Of course, the younger generation experts were an exception. After all, this was a conquest of the younger generation. Su Yan's backer couldn't come out and teach them a lesson, right? Su Xianren is seriously injured. He can be considered lucky to have survived such a powerful reincarnation tribulation. I suspect that Su Xianren has really taken away the reincarnation fruit. Let's wait and see. We won't make a move unless it's a critical moment. Who knows what other trump cards Su Xianren has? Everyone was discussing spiritedly. Many people also rushed over in batches into this ruined world. Many people's murderous intents had already leaked out and were chilling to the bone. This ice-cold murderous intent swept up Su Yan's bloodstained hair. He stood in this ruined place and was thinking about how to leave at this moment. The reincarnation universe was on the verge of extinction. Once this day came, the experts of the sealing heaven region would definitely not sit still and kill their way in. At that time, the situation would be very unfavorable for him. Even if the reincarnation fruit disappeared, the experts would definitely think that he had taken it away. If I use the great Tao of reincarnation to shake the reincarnation universe and cause it to collapse in advance, I should be able to seize the opportunity to rush out. If I can't get out, it'll be miserable. Just the reincarnation fruit is enough to make them unable to sit still. Su Yan muttered in his heart. He had the human-shaped puppet and could erupt to the peak of the Divine King realm at any time. Even if a space-time storm really occurred, there was still hope for him to survive. Su Yan, a large group of experts rushed over, occupying all directions, many of them strangers. Su Yan, you are so ruthless. You set up a trap and killed so many passageways. You are a devil. Twos, to beat. All the cultivators present eyed Su Yan covetously. Su Yan had snatched the reincarnation fruit. He had become the public enemy. Su Yan was not surprised by this scene. His cold eyes quickly swept across the countless people gathered in all directions. He shouted coldly, "Ridiculous! What does this have to do with me? Since you want to kill me, go ahead. Don't pour dirty water on me." His hair fluttered and his eyes were filled with coldness. He scanned the people gathered in all directions and finally fixed his gaze on Zhu Tian's group. Su Yan's heart was filled with killing intent. He really hoped that the destruction of the reincarnation universe would be delayed for a while. Su Yan, who had already stepped into the peak of the 4th heaven of the heavenly god realm, wanted to take the opportunity to kill a few great enemies. Su Yan, you're too arrogant. The red-eyed man pointed at him and roared, "I'm not as good as you, but you set up a trap and kill my relatives. How can you be so vicious? You're a rising star of the burial region race. Have you forgotten the tragic experience of the burial region race all these years? You're spouting nonsense." Su Yan's eyes were filled with coldness. He stepped out with a terrifying aura and said coldly, "I, Su Yan, have killed countless people. If this trap was set up by me, can you still stand here and talk to me alive? Since you're ignorant, don't drag my race into this. You killed them, but you don't dare to admit it." The young man's attitude was furious. He pointed at him and roared, You've killed so many people in the great Tao city. You kill people like flies. Aren't you afraid of dying without a burial place? Ha ha ha. Su Yin laughed and said coldly, they deserve to die. I, Su Yin, have never denied it. As for why they died, it's clear as day. I, Su Yin, have never denied it. I've said just now, the trap has nothing to do with me. The red-eyed young cultivator calmed down a little. That's right, Su Yin didn't kill enough people. Since he was the one who did it, Su Yin didn't kill enough people. There was no reason for him to hide it. Su Yin, you're too arrogant. You killed so many people for your own selfish desires. It doesn't matter if you don't admit it. You have to admit the reincarnation fruit, right? Someone sneered secretly. Boom! As soon as he finished speaking, Su Yan's palms stretched out like lightning and grabbed an old cultivator who was over 50 years old from the crowd. You! The old cultivator was so scared that he almost peed his pants. He was like a little chick that was grabbed by Su Yan's golden hand. There was no way for him to fight back. If you stand out openly, you'll be the same as him. Su Yin pointed at the red-eyed young cultivator and said coldly, I still respect you as a man, but you stabbed me in the back. You're not even worth a fart in my eyes. Ah! The old cultivator was kicked into the air by Su Yin. In this world filled with bloody light, his eyes were like lightning as he looked down at the cultivators gathered in all directions. He said coldly, Come at me if you want to kill me. His voice was like thunder. Many people were so shocked that they did not dare to speak. However, the red-eyed young man said in a gentle tone, You really didn't kill her. Are you done? Su Yin glared at him and shouted, You can curse at the sky 3 times. Won't you find out who set up the trap? In fact, Su Yin had been searching for the blood-red creature, but he could not find where it was hiding. Su Yin was just saying it casually. Who knew that the young man would get angry and say, Which bastard killed my sister? Come out, you cowardly turtle bastard. Come out, come out. Su Yin was stunned. He stared at the young man and cursed. When he noticed that Su Yin was looking at him, the young man immediately understood that it was not Su Yin who did it. It was someone else. Su Yin suddenly winked at him. The young man was a bit embarrassed and had an awkward expression. However, his expression changed greatly in the next moment. This was because the entire ruined land was shaking. It was as if a tsunami had struck the earth. It's you. How could it be you? The young man's face turned green. He felt that it was Su Yin who did it because he was attacking him. Which bastard said that Su Xianren was about to die? The cultivators gathered here were all trembling. A large number of cultivators were so weak that they were about to fall to the ground and shiver. It was because at this moment, Su Yin was too terrifying. His aura soared to the peak in an instant. The boundless ruined land trembled and sank. Even the heavenly deities were so scared that they let out wolf howls. Was he still human? They really felt that a king was reviving. Save me, the young man cried out in fear. At first, he thought that Su Yin was going to take action and kill him, but now he felt as if he had fallen into purgatory. A large hand of death grabbed towards his head. Get the hell out here. Su Yin roared loudly. His voice was like thunder, collapsing layers of the void. He brandished a fist, shaking up time and space. It contained endless destructive force as it smashed forward murderously. He was going to force the blood-colored creature out from within. Su Yin, I will remember you. Just you wait, I will come again. The blood-colored creature turned around and left. It wasn't that he couldn't defeat Su Yin, but rather that his current state didn't allow him to come out for a long time. He could only endure his anger and withdraw. Where do you think you are going? Su Yan's eyes widened. He rushed up, brandishing his fist and smashing it towards the space the blood-colored creature was escaping into. He hammered down until this entire region became incredibly distorted. He was going to force the blood-colored creature out. It really isn't him. On the other hand, this young man seemed to have lost his soul. His eyes chased after Su Yin, who was the mastermind behind the scenes. His expression changed greatly. There was guilt and reverence. Su Yin is going to escape. The sagely battle god's expression was cold. He wanted to take action, but he didn't dare directly attack Su Yin. He was worried that he wouldn't be able to stop him and lose face. All of a sudden, A blood-colored halberd with world-shocking sharpness hacked open the sky, cutting off Su Yan's escape path. Almost. It seems like I can't stop him. Su Yan's eyes were cold. He wanted to get rid of a great threat, but Zhu Tian intercepted him, causing Su Yan to lose track of the blood-colored creature. Su Yan, our battle isn't over yet. How can you escape? Let's decide who's going to live and who's going to die now. Zhu Tian carried the blood-colored halberd with one arm. Just as he was about to close in, Su Yan let out a furious roar, causing the entire ruined land to tremble. Countless territories trembled as boundless cracks appeared. The surrounding people were stunned. Su Yan's aura was too tyrannical. He was like an eternal heavenly furnace with surging essence blood, releasing the terrifying aura of a heavenly deity. His roar shattered the heavens. Come here and accept your death. Su Yan was like a wild god of war as he crossed the sky and arrived in front of Zhu Tian. He punched out, causing the world to change colors. The deities trembled as they saw the entire ruined land collapse. Earth and rocks rolled about in the sky, filling the sky with smoke. There were also bursts of bloody light, accompanied by the sound of bones cracking. It was so savage that it caused the scalps of the experts to go numb. They saw Su Yanba making his move. With a punch, he sent Zhu Tian flying, leaving behind streaks of bloody light in the void. Streaks after streaks of bloody light. The entire world seemed to have fallen silent. The deities felt like their livers were splitting apart. What was this? Zhu Tian was sent flying by Su Xianren with a single punch. His body was about to collapse. Countless people felt like their livers were splitting apart. They found it hard to believe that Su Yan had stepped into the king realm. Zhu Tian, the people of the ancestral hall, were scared silly. Their pupils dilated as they couldn't imagine what was happening. It was like a dream. Roar. Suddenly, people saw Zhu Tian, who had been sent flying, rise up from the ground in an instant. He released his aura completely and ignited his imprint. His potential soared wildly as he let out an earth-shattering roar. The primal chaos began to roar like a sea. At this moment, the young Overlord standing tall between heaven and earth seemed to have been knocked down. His powerful aura was like a deflated balloon. Zhu Tian was very strong and had been hiding his strength all along. Su Xianren was even more terrifying. He seemed to have also obtained a great fortune. The two's sudden awakening of their auras made the young experts all over the world tremble. They were somewhat doubting their lives. They could actually become even more powerful. Su Yan, hand over your life. Zhu Tian seemed to have gone mad. The blood-colored halberd ignited. At this moment, he was extremely terrifying. The Zhu Tian imprint, which had been peerless in the past, was blazing with a terrifying immortal light. Come here. I'll beat you to death with 3 punches and cripple the foundation you're so proud of. Su Yan took a step forward. The space exploded, and the earth seemed to be on the verge of collapse. The experts felt as if they had fallen into purgatory. They felt as if an ancient divine mountain was awakening and their bodies were about to explode. Chapter 1068. Sand and stones flew about amidst the wailing of ghosts and gods. Every inch of space was trembling as an ice-cold, killing intent spread out. Finally, Su Yan's suppression shattered every inch of space-time. It was as though a sword was tearing through the heavens, ready to slaughter all life in the universe. The violent storms it stirred up shook the entire world. These shocking words were somewhat familiar. The gods couldn't remember who Su Yan had said these words to. Now that these words had appeared once again, the gods felt as though they were dreaming. However, Su Yan's terrifying aura was like a giant god that filled the entire starry sky. How is this possible? Ma Ilyang and the others were frightened. Their eyes were filled with disbelief. Was this still the Su Yan from back then? Was this still the Su Xianren? How did Su Xianren become so terrifying and abnormal overnight? His combat strength was completely different from before. Many young overlords seemed insignificant before him. Could it be that Su Yan had secretly eaten all the reincarnation fruits? Someone let out a trembling voice. His eyes had turned red because this was an opportunity that even powerful experts couldn't obtain. But now, it had been obtained by Su Yin. They even suspected that Su Yin had secretly eaten all the reincarnation fruits. Otherwise, how could they explain how he had become so powerful and peerless? He could be considered an invincible king. Such peerless heavenly might made them despair. How could they compete with him in the future? How could they chase after him like this? Zhu Tian was sent flying with a single punch just now. Am I dreaming? That's Zhu Tian, the invincible inheritor of the ancestral hall. Unbelievable. Is this still Su Xianren? He must have eaten the reincarnation fruits and obtained a great fortune that even powerful experts would be jealous of. Many people lost control of their voices as they roared with trembling voices. Although Zhu Tian had reversed his combat strength at the critical moment and activated the invincible Zhu Tian imprint, causing his aura to surge, he had indeed been sent flying with a single punch from Su Yin. It was a shocking scene. Zhu Tian emitted a bone-chilling aura like a mad demon. The awakening of the Zhu Tian imprint had pushed his combat strength to the peak. No, Zhu Tian. The experts from the Ancestral Hall who were entrenched in the outside world had a drastic change in expression. One of the eminent elders growled. Although the Ancestral Heaven imprint is said to be invincible in this world, Zhu Tian cannot use it for a long period of time in his current state. However, Su Xianren's battle prowess is too strong. Zhu Tian can only fight with the Ancestral Heaven imprint. That's right. However, the Ancestral Heaven imprint isn't something that can be used for a long period of time. This is the strongest imprint that our Ancestral Hall has accumulated over millions of years. Only the King Domain can fuse with it. The legend of invincibility in the Ancestral Heaven wasn't just a legend, but a fact. Every time an Ancestral Heaven obtained the Ancestral Heaven imprint and reached the limit of the King realm, the Ancestral Heaven imprint would disappear. This was also the reason why the Ancestral Heaven imprint had accumulated an unparalleled amount of King realm heritage over the years. However, this foundation could only be absorbed after reaching the King realm. Only then could one integrate the strongest cultivation essence of the various Ancestral Heaven imprints and create a symbol of invincibility in the universe. However, if Zhu Tian were to use it now, it would definitely be very difficult to control. It might even deplete the essence of the Zhu Tian imprint. Don't stop Ancestral Heaven, a grand elder coldly said. If we don't kill Su Yin, we won't be able to sleep in peace. He's already so strong, so we must use the Ancestral Heaven imprint to erase him. Even if we have to exhaust our King Domain heritage, we must kill him. They had originally wanted to stop Ancestral Heaven's crazy actions, but when they saw Su Yin, their reason was immediately overtaken by hatred. They had to kill Su Yin. So it turns out that we don't have much of a connection. You and I aren't experts of the same domain. Ancestral Heaven's aura completely awakened as he used his ultimate method. As the Ancestral Heaven imprint spewed out a peerless divine might and pierced through his body, this generation's Ancestral Heaven emitted an aura of invincibility. Terrifying energy circulated, causing the faces of the deities to pale. They could clearly sense a type of invincible momentum that originated from the long river of time. This was an unchangeable, invincible momentum that gathered in this world, filled with an aura that could suppress all the kings of the universe. Suddenly, some people seemed to see the essence, energy, and spirit of the invincible Ancestral Heaven gather in this era, forming an unparalleled heavenly might that shocked the world. But I didn't expect you to cultivate to this step. But your legend should come to an end. Ancestral Heaven roared. The invincible aura of the past Ancestral Heavens rippled out like a surging sea, sweeping through the entire space-time. The energy that surged out shook the world, suppressing the vast space-time until it was dark. In the heavens and earth, only this generation's Ancestral Heaven was invincible since ancient times, releasing a ferocious might that could suppress all. What a terrifying Ancestral Heaven! This is the legend of the ancestral hall's invincible past. When ancestral heaven brings out his foundation, who can contend against him? Ancestral heaven's invincible legend has never been broken. Ancestral heaven has used his ultimate method. Will Su Xianren be able to withstand it? How can Su Xianren break the legend of invincibility? I seem to be able to see a terrifying overlord soaking the skies in blood. This battle caused all the cultivators present to go into a frenzy. Some people were shouting excitedly, but when the invincible ancestral heaven's aura erupted and surged over, it suppressed all voices of discussion. Everything became blurry and was destroyed under the supreme suppression. All the energy converged on Su Yan, drowning his figure. It was going to bury him in the legend of ancestral heavens, invincible past generations. Su Xianren is also invincible under the heavens, destroying all the legends and legends of the world. Someone shouted in anger. It was one of Su Yan's admirers. He saw a blazing figure rise from the blurry world. His feet stepped on the desolate wilderness, and his head was the dome of heaven. He was like a giant god of heaven and earth, terrifying beyond compare. Boom! Su Yan's fist suppressed the world. He blasted out a fist, filling the sky with divine power and smashing apart a sea of stars. Living in a legend, this isn't your energy. They don't belong to you. Su Yan's aura devoured the heavens. It was as if a giant god of heaven and earth was born. His figure dove down close to the ground and struck the end of the earth. It was difficult for people to catch sight of Su Yan's figure. They only saw the end of the earth collapse. Su Yan was like a Kuan Peng emerging from the sea. The tyrannical fluctuations of a heavenly deity erupted. At this moment, nothing could suppress Su Yan's elegance. Ancestral heaven's invincible legends were united into one. So what if they blossomed in this era? Su Yan attacked with tyrannical force. Boundless heavenly deity aura surged within him. He walked a completely new path. Once awakened, it could be said that he was a small, condensed universe. He wouldn't be suppressed by the universe's rules and would release his own terrifying power to his heart's content. Suppress. Ancestral heaven roared toward the sky. His blazing figure seemed to be standing in a legend. He released a vast tide of darkness that filled the starry sky. Layer after layer, it was as if millions upon millions of vague tides of darkness had awakened from their slumber. They enveloped the entire starry sky and came crashing down with a supreme stance. The deities turned pale. Even Su Yan's admirers were terrified. What kind of energy was this? This was too ridiculous. Ancestral heaven was actually so terrifying in this domain. He was fully deserving of being called a supreme existence. The invincible ancestral heaven who lived in legends and legends. Good. Ancestral heaven has brought out his trump cards. There's no doubt that Su Yan is destined to nurse a grievance from the start. He can't afford to fight. It's not that he's not in the same domain as ancestral heaven. There have been many invincible experts in the past, but how many of them can continue their glory and prosperity from one era to the next? Only our ancestral hall's ancestral heaven can look down on time and space. He's invincible among his peers. The ancestral hall's elders were agitated. This was ancestral heaven's invincible might. He could sweep through the world, look down on all heroes, and dominate the world. Ancestral heaven had done it. He was terrifyingly ferocious and made all the young overlords tremble. Was he going to slaughter his way to the world and dominate the world? Boom! Suddenly, everyone saw the dark tide tremble amidst the heart-splitting scenes. It was as if a vague universe was erupting and a terrifying figure was awakening. He seemed to have propped up the four poles of the universe and grasped the momentum of the universe, releasing a heaven-defying power. That was a brilliant figure that propped up the darkness. He was like a golden heavenly king that overflowed the heavens. No matter how much you have, it's just an external force. It's not something you cultivated. Get over here, and I'll beat you up. Su Yan let out a long roar. His aura was wild to the extreme, and his roar riddled the darkness with thousands of holes. What kind of terrifying power was this? When the divine power in his body surged out, it was as if he had propped up a world and opened up an invincible universe, with the primal chaos as the foundation and all living things as the source. When the origin profound was awakened and the origin scripture, the strongest scripture in the world, was activated, the dark tide collapsed. It was as if an ancient imperial star was being unsealed. It emitted a vast and mighty domain fluctuation and a divine might that could devour 100,000 li. Everyone present was dumbfounded. The shock in their hearts was indescribable. The great battle surged violently and reached the pinnacle. It was a battle that created a legend. The whole world was filled with cosmic cracks. When they erupted, a corner of the reincarnation universe was directly shattered. The cracks were endless. The two great experts' divine might was boundless. However, Su Yin was a level higher. His divine power gathered and turned into a seed. It seemed insignificant, but it possessed the battle prowess of a heavenly deity. A dragon fought in the wilderness. The scene was terrifying. Even the sky was pierced through. "Kill!" Su Yin roared. He looked down with disdain. He was simply a human-shaped, vicious dragon. He tore through the darkness and attacked in front of Zhu Tian. This figure was tyrannical to the extreme. Tens of thousands of layers of blood essence surged and gathered together to form an ancient dragon. It coiled above Su Yan's head as if it was patrolling the heavens. The power of the heavens bloomed. The inception profound bloomed and descended. It pierced through the ancient dragon. This dragon was revived. It possessed the divine might of the great Tao that was incomprehensible to the people of the world. "I'll blow you up with one punch." Su Yin released this punch. The ancient dragon coiled above his fist and released a power that could swallow the universe. The dragon fist was unparalleled and emitted an incomparable might. This punch blasted open the void, and the world seemed to be collapsing. Everything was blurry and couldn't be seen clearly. However, some people could vaguely see bloody light blossoming. It was very dazzling. This was black blood that sprinkled down. Under the shocked gazes of everyone present, they saw Su Xianren's tyrannical power reach the limit. He blasted out with a fist that shook heaven and earth. It struck Zhu Tian until his entire fist exploded. His entire body spurted out a bloody mist.